Yeah, I don't think I know who Charmaine is either, but I know who Elizabeth is. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Diana S. How are you? Thank you guys for joining the live. At first, I'm like, wait, where is everyone? Oh, wait, we're not talking about Delphi. We're doing the Harmony Montgomery case tonight.
Right.
Um, yeah, a very sad case, and I know that there were certain people earlier today that they just this case is heart wrenching. The Harmony Montgomery case, and some people just can't handle it, and internally, most of us can't either. But again, it's kind of like what I said earlier. You have to block stuff in order to do stuff,
Yeah.
and bring awareness. And apparently, there's this witness or that called into the tip line. Uh, that I called into the tip line was some of the stuff at
On
the.
Tuesday.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then they
Yeah,
found out
called
about
into,
Wednesday, and now everyone's kind of like,
yeah. So it'll be interesting. Hello, nice to see you all. I asked for notification and did not get one. Not sure why you wouldn't get a notification today, to be honest with you. It's not like I abused my powers of YouTube and did more than 3 lives. Yeah, I'm not sure, to be
yeah,
honest. Hi, Outback. There's Charmaine. Charmaine, where's our bud Techron there?
right.
Need to speak to Techron.
Just with what you were just saying though, Sonny, as far as like this case being so heavy, I think we all feel that with the Harmony case, um, and it's absolutely true. It's gut wrenching. It's really hard to listen to, but I will say today was the first day in the trial that we started to get to some of the testimony that um, I'm really interested to hear because we heard from we heard from the cyber crimes cop today. We
Yeah,
heard from another detective or two, and so I'm really interested to see the investigative aspect to this case. Whereas prior, we've heard a lot of these, drug addicts. We've heard a lot of graphic stuff about the drains and things like that, and I'm sure
yeah.
we'll continue to. But I am interested to hear some of the stuff about the phones and all of that. So,
Okay, okay. Okay, so well, before we get started, and I put it in the thing if you guys want. So I decided I was going to make some new things. Adam, I feel like this. I feel like you need to buy this one right here. It says, "What if I'm not like the others?" Alien head. Oh, hey, Canadian S, how are you? Haven't seen you in a long time. Hi. Uh, so I feel like that one's perfect for you.
right.
Actually, every time I look at that mug, it makes me laugh. What
I
if I'm
agree.
not like the others?
I like that. And I just read Elizabeth's comment. And so from here on out tonight, I will only be referred to as Aspen just so we
Yeah,
can keep the two separate.
yeah, right.
I don't want to read a comment and be like, wait, is she talking about me? And they'd be like, oh no, she's talking about Adam Montgomery.
Yeah, because we all know that Adam's real name is Adam, but he goes by Aspen Connor on like everything. Pretty much, I just have a habit of calling him Adam, Aspen, Adam. It just both of the names sound
Well,
very, you know.
normally it doesn't bother me, but I don't want to be mistaken for Adam Montgomery.
Okay, so again, so just quickly here. Okay, so anyone that's a member of the It's a Crime and Shame channel, so I decided to make mogs for each of the levels. So if you're a trace trail tracker, one, then like oops, sorry. Ah, then that's the mug. That's like the $1.99 level in the membership on YouTube for that one. Okay. And then, so if you guys didn't notice as well, I changed the names because I couldn't very well do Pink Panther and use a Pink Panther copyrighted logo and stuff like that. I could, but I'd get probably shit for that one. But, anyways, and then there's this Snoop Scoop Sniffer, which is the doggy. Okay. Which is the doggy one, Snoop Scoop's Sniffer. That's the second level. And then the Secret Shadow Seeker. Okay, that is the third level, the third
I like
tier.
that.
Yeah, and then there is the Whodunit Wizards, which is this one right here. Okay, so that's the top level of membership. So, anyways, I thought I'd create mugs to go along with that, and then because I thought that the alien one, I wasn't even thinking of you, Adam, when I saw it. I just saw it Then I thought of you. So I just wanted to show you guys those are out there. So those are to match the levels in case you guys wanted to purchase a mug. Again, it's a third party drop ship, so it's not like we make any kind of money on it. Now the price you're seeing is in Canadian. It's like $14.95 American. Um, just that I'm not sure how you guys see it on your end because you are American. So I'm not sure if the price actually shows up underneath in the stuff is 14.95 or not. But anyways, so I wanted to show that quickly. And then of course, hold on, which course? And then of course, there's always the other things that people might not have seen. But anyways, okay, guys. So you guys can check that out. The link is always in the description of the videos, the lives, the videos when they're put out, regardless. And so let's stop that. Share screen. Now, let's see here. I'm going to play yesterday's first. Now, that is this one right here. And this is the one of how career criminal Adam Montgomery got custody of Harmony Montgomery. Again, how are you guys tonight? Living the dream. No? Yeah. Even if we're not, we're going to say we are.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyways, so doing good. It's Friday. My husband's home. It's a long weekend. It's a family day here. And you guys have a holiday. What's it called there?
President's Day?
Is that what it's called for the 19th here?
I think.
Oh, yeah. You do have Monday's a holiday, right?
We do, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because like court for the Adam Montgomery trial doesn't start again until Tuesday.
Right. Okay. Oh, okie dokie. So with this one here, we're gonna play a little bit. Like we'll play some and then stop and then talk about some certain things. So yeah, just come hang with us. Hit the like button if you don't mind. And again, viewer discretion is advised. If people are squeamish about this, of course, particular case, then obviously you shouldn't be watching because it does involve child. A lot of them do. Well, Delphi is too, but this one's a hard one as well.
But tonight, we will talk about both because Harmony deserves to be remembered, and this little angel deserves justice. Harmony was born to Crystal Sorey and Adam Montgomery. Adam was in prison when she was born, so Crystal was her soul.
Okay, actually, Adam, can you do me a favor and just give a quick recap to people about this case that don't know about it, just quickly? 2 years.
Yeah, very quickly. Harmony.
Oh, 1 second. Thank you, Canadian-S. Thank you very much.
Harmony was a 5-year-old little girl who both parents. This is in New Hampshire. Both of her parents were addicts. What we're about to find out is how she went to live with her father, Adam Montgomery. She was last seen December of 2020, if I'm remembering correctly.
2019.
2019, and she was not, and she was missing for like 2 years, and she's still actually never been recovered. But her father, Adam Montgomery, is now on trial for second-degree murder.
Right, and basically, pretty much every witness that you see has immunity. The bottom line is hi Ariel, how are you? Welcome, hi Sharon, Mr. Electric, everybody. Thank you guys, and thank you Canadians again for becoming a member. So this, like I said, basically everyone pretty much got immunity because they simply want to know the story and to be able to press charges against Adam Montgomery. We all aren't idiots. Nobody, I don't think here, believes for 1 second that Kayla Montgomery is the one that took Harmony Montgomery's life. I mean, that's just ridiculous. But hey,
but I'm amazed. I'm amazed at the people that, because I watched Court TV. I've been watching the trial on Court TV, so I see the people in the chat, and there are people that believe it. Just like there are people that believe Chris Watts didn't do what he did to
Well,
his little girls.
those people need to go bang their heads on a rock and rethink their entire life and existence. To be honest, with that type of mentality, I mean, I get it. People can think what they want, kind of like the OJ case and stuff like that. But then there's people that actually have common sense,
Right.
that can look through the bull crap of it all. And I mean, this is clear as day that that Kayla, yeah, she was there. She knows exactly what happened and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I mean, honestly, yeah. So Kayla, the stepmom, in a sense, is gonna punch Harmony in the head because she had an accident,
Yeah.
or is it going to be the father of the child who has a history of abuse and different things? I mean, really.
Kayla just sat by and didn't do anything.
Oh, exactly.
She just ate her Burger King, and
Right? She's just a self-serving. She's just a self-serving one. That one right there. You know, she's
yeah.
pretty much a scumbag.
Ariel, that is the biggest question everyone has. Because no one's disputing that that this happened, but it's like, is Kayla's testimony enough proof?
Mhm. I mean, and the gist of it is, at the end of the day, I mean, honestly, um, realistically, when you look at who would who would be the more likely to have taken Harmony Montgomery's life? Mr. Abusive, Mr. Freaking violent person, you know, or Kayla. So to me, it's clear as day that this was something done by Adam. He's the one that drove the U-Haul. He's the one that drug that tote around. Trust me, this guy is not going to do this all for Kayla. In fact, he'd probably turn her ass. And if she did it and he knew where her body was, because he's the one that placed it, I'm pretty sure that he'd be like throwing that out, for the sake of his daughter, that he'd be saying exactly where Harmony's body is. But no, I mean, like I said, the guy's just full of himself. They're both full of themselves. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
They're both pieces of shit. It's just that in order to get to the truth and charges, had to give immunity, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of no different than the Karina McClurkin case, when that one comes up as well. Same idea. Um, that was the cause of the death too. Well, exactly. I mean, really, it's all going to be, well, DNA, obviously, and circumstantial, but enough so. Uh, Sorry, Canadian S. I just quickly seen that pop up. Um, let me just quickly take a look at this. Um, you guys, if you can say prayers for Canadian S. She says it's been hell in our lives. Have you got diagnosed with bladder cancer last August? He went into emergency Surrey June 18th, with blood. When I went in today to have my staples removed from my knee replacement, Mace is in Victoria, going to university in psychology. Okay, so Canadian S, I'm so sorry. Prayers. Canadian S is a dear old friend of mine from the game RuneScape. It's where I met my husband, and I had known Canadian S well before knowing my husband. We always used to hang out on the game. There was a bunch of us and stuff like that. Anyways, prayers to you, Canadian S, and to your husband, and Mason. Is actually their grandson that they raised. They have raised for a long time. Good old boy. I remember making a video for him. I was hungry fighting. But prayers to you, okay, on that. Okay, so RuneScape. I met my boyfriend on Endless Online. My boyfriend on Endless Online. A lot of people played RS too. Oh yes, yes, yes. RuneScape is like, that's why, like I said, met my husband, Steve Austin. Betty, thank you very much. I just saw that come in. Betty bought a taco. If you guys do have the extra, perhaps consider buying a taco. It's called the Coffee app. Thank you. And I wanted to talk to Techron, because Techron the other day, you guys kept saying that he had got a membership. And I'm like, well, Techron, which is Charmaine's friend. And I'm like, Techron, there's no membership. There's no little green thing beside your name. And so it just so happened that after the live, I had gone to my email, And all of a sudden it said that Techron had bought a taco, but then it also said that he had bought a membership.
He
But
did it during the live.
hey,
He did it during the live.
no. He okay. So the membership he was talking about when he said that he did do it, and we were kind of making fun of him because he was like, no, he didn't do it because he didn't have that. So he ended up. So what happened was, when he said he was a member, he joined the buy a coffee membership. Yeah. And so when on the live, when we're like, no, see no membership here.
Oh, poor guy.
And so then he ended up buying the membership for the YouTube because he thought that when he did the coffee app one membership, right? The coffee app is a separate app in itself, which has its different little tiers and you can do stuff like that. Anyways, it's a fun little app type of thing. I want to actually really get into using that app a lot more than I do because it's one of those, it's kind of like a Patreon, but you're not forced to become a member or whatever. But it's just a cute little app in itself. Anyways, so thank you very much, Betty, for the taco. And it's Taco Friday, I guess.
I had tacos yesterday.
Did you? Okay,
Yeah.
look, we can't really talk around tacos. I think it's around, was it Charles? Who was it? Was it Charles? No. Who was it that had stomach issues with tacos? I was talking about it in chat.
I don't know, but I feel bad for them, whoever it was, because
I know.
tacos are amazing.
Because every time I kept looking at like these tacos, he kept talking about tacos, and I'm just like, okay, leave the tacos alone. Don't
I love a
tell everyone
taco.
that you got sick over tacos. I love tacos. Even my husband, was it David? Okay, it was David. Okay, David Abrams. And so like even my husband, he's British, if you guys didn't know, of course. And so he says to me this other day when like last couple weeks ago, I think I was gonna make tacos, and he's like, what is your fascination with tacos? And I'm like, well, what is your fascination with tiki masala all the time?
Oh, I
Same
love
reason you like your tiki masala. I like my tacos. I love tacos. And I'm sorry, but you can go to, and I know we're totally off topic right now, but you can go to those, taco times and whatever. Shit. Absolute shit. Okay. Nothing like a real homemade taco. The ones that they do at Taco Time, I'm telling you, oh, let's just give you a quarter of an inch of beef and like literally and a little bit of cheese. It's such a joke, such an absolute joke. Tacos made at home, throw in some pizza, the pizza tomato sauce, with it, some garlic, your pepper. That's it, right? Throw that in there. And sometimes we'll throw in peppers just for that. YOLO.
Sunny. There's a taco place. I got real quickly. There's a taco place in Charlotte. They have a tikka masala taco. It's so good. It's like they use like a non crust. They use like a non, like the non bread,
the non bread,
like a non crust, and then they put the tikka masala stuff in it. It's really good.
Oh, I bet. Actually, I just had tikka masala tonight. My husband made. He attempted to make fried rice. It was still good, but it wasn't fried rice. Garlic bread, just a little bit burnt. He was just like, "Here's your dinner. It sucks." And it was still really good. But not gonna lie, that garlic bread was a little bit over burnt, a little bit over crusty at the bottom there. But I think husband's listening to me. I wasn't saying anything, was I, guys? Nothing about nope, nothing at all. Hey, husband. Go ahead. He's gone now.
I was gonna say, should we actually start playing the court TV thing now?
Sure, let's do that. Okay. All right, we had our taco moment. Thank you so much. Okay, let's do that. We'll play it.
I'm gonna grab my charger. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Custodial parent. But unfortunately for Harmony, Crystal suffered from addiction problems. And as a result, family services got involved eventually.
Okay, so just so you quickly know, Crystal, when they talk about Crystal Sorry, that's the actual mother of Harmony Montgomery. Okay, guys? Just in case for people that don't know this.
Harmony was placed in foster care. When Adam got out of prison, he had very sporadic contact with Harmony, but somehow he was eventually granted full custody in 2019. Harmony was then living with Adam, her stepmother Kayla, and her two half-brothers. Adam and Kayla had addiction problems and big money problems. The family ended up living in a car. That's where prosecutors say Adam murdered his daughter in 2019. He's now on trial, but says he didn't do it. He claims Kayla is responsible for Harmony's death. Tonight, we have the latest forensic and DNA evidence revealed in court. Then we will go back in time to try to understand how career criminal Adam Montgomery was awarded custody as we continue our investigation into what happened to Harmony. I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments. And when I think about Harmony Montgomery, I think of one question: why? And this applies to a bunch of circumstances here. The first and the most obvious is, why would anyone ever do harm to this girl? I mean, that I don't even know if there's no answer that makes sense there. There's no answer that could make sense to me or anyone else with a heart, with an ounce of humanity in them. Like, why would you ever even consider harming this little girl? Now, there's some other why questions that are, I think, really important in trying to uncover her story and understand how this all happened. And the first is with Adam Montgomery. Like, why did he want custody? Why did he want custody? You know, when she was born, he was in prison, saw her sporadically, but then for some reason, he's showing up in court to get custody of this little girl with special needs. And why would he do that? Why would he do that? Did he love her? Did he miss her? Did he think it was in the best interest of this little girl to be with him in New Hampshire, living in a car while he was doing drugs? Or was there something else up? I don't know, maybe some government assistance checks that would come in the mail to whoever had custody? Maybe. Then a bigger question, like, why did he get custody? Like, what happened there? Now, I've never practiced family law, okay? But what I always understood is that the test that we use in our system of justice is, when we're dealing with children and minors who basically really can't speak for themselves, what we're supposed to do, and when I say we, it's the decisions that are made are always supposed to be what's in the best interest of the child. Now, I understand there is some presumption out there that it's always in the best interest of a child, if possible, to be with a biological parent. I understand that. But this is Adam Montgomery we're talking about, okay? This isn't Father Knows Best. This is Father Barely Knows His Daughter. That's who it is. So what happened there? We're going to investigate that tonight, because this is a problem, a major problem, that someone sitting up high in a courtroom, because that's who makes these decisions, it's not a jury, someone sitting high with a robe, came to the conclusion that the best place for this special needs girl is to be with him. Why? Then the final question that I want to tackle tonight is, why did everyone lose track of her?
Right.
When we first reported this story, when I first heard the story, the heartbreaking part, the part to me that spoke volumes about the life that Harmony had lived or was living, because we didn't know at the time if she was alive or not, is that a little girl is missing for 2 years. Nobody sees her for 2 years and nobody's doing anything. Like, there's no adult anywhere. There's no family member anywhere. There's no family service.
Okay, so let's just quickly stop that there for a second. Absolutely. You know that this was about money, receiving money for a child. Like, that's probably the most likely scenario. Because can you really see that this guy wanted, I think it was, what do we want to say, disabled daughter that had issues besides money. Absolutely, I would think that
Nope.
this was about getting free money. What do you think, Adam?
I agree with you 100%. And I have a question. This is completely, I could be completely wrong here. So anyone correct me if you know the answer to this. But when I don't know the way that government benefits work. But if a child has special needs, are you awarded more money by the government for that child?
Yes, and I'm going to assume it's the same within the United Kingdom. When you have special needs, you do get more money, of course, for that child.
Because Harmony had a brother that went into the foster system that Adam didn't seem to want custody of.
Right? No. This like I said, these are self-serving people. Their lives were worth more than the children's. Simple as that. I think WA Thug like this. There's always a spite element to it as well. Visa the mom. I can't say I've ever heard of that expression, visa. Churches here will give diapers, food for free. Depends on the special need requirements for sure.
Which is sadly, Sharon, I don't think it was the actual care for Harmony they cared about. They just wanted that money so they could turn around and buy Coke and then go into the Econo Lodge and do Coke all night, like we heard today in court.
Yeah, like exactly. Like this, they're reaping benefits off the other children. And hey, you know what? Like I said, they can get more off of this. This is again self-serving for Harmony Montgomery. And I'm sorry, but the judicial system let her down. In my eyes, the judicial system is the one that pretty much kills
everyone. Did, yeah.
But yeah. And if you're poor and disabled, you can get SSI, SSP. It's not a ton, but I think it's like $1,100 a month or so. I know that my husband's brother's girlfriend that he's lives with has like 3 children. No, 4 children now. But I can't remember if it's 1 or 2 of them that has special needs. She don't have to work whatsoever.
Right.
Before the government in the United Kingdom gave them a house, gives them a handicap vehicle, gives them pretty much everything, and there's no point in him working, meaning the brother Ricky. There's no point in him working because why? It takes away from their already free benefits.
Right.
So if you can sit there and stay at home, well, both of them really, and stay at home, and it's to the disadvantage to actually for him to work.
Because if you get a job and you make just a little bit too much money, they take all those benefits away.
So yeah. And so,
and thank you, Elizabeth. You are right. The brother was not Adam's biological son. You're right. I apologize.
Okay, I was gonna say it's just Harmony Montgomery, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a brother, but it's not Adam's biological son.
Right.
Services person anywhere. There's no neighbor anywhere. There's no one anywhere saying,
like,
"Hey, have you seen Harmony? Where's Harmony?
Kayla
I'd like to see Harmony. How's Harmony doing?
Kayla,
do you have any pictures of Harmony? Huh, Dad, who fought for custody? Do you have a picture of your daughter on your phone? Oh, no, you sold your phone to get more drugs. I'm sorry. Like, how does that happen? We're going to try to answer that question as well. But a lot happened today inside the courtroom from the trial of Adam Montgomery. So let's go straight to Court TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson, who was in the courtroom all day, has the big moments for us tonight. Matt, great to see you. So as we know, the star witness for the prosecution, unfortunately for them, but it's who was in Adam's life, is Kayla Montgomery. So today, some witnesses attempting to corroborate some of her testimony to have this jury understand that maybe she's telling the truth.
Actually, Anna,
Vinny, that was some key moments that we saw here today. Nice to see you tonight. And who we didn't see was Adam Montgomery for day 7 of his murder trial. So there was a lot of witnesses that took the stand today corroborating Kayla Montgomery's story that Adam beat his daughter to death and then moved the body and the remains from place to place, including 2 former employees of the Portland Pie Company where Adam worked as a dishwasher and also a cook, a prep cook, where they saw him with the CMC diaper bag and they watched him walk it into the cooler with all the food. Take a listen.
Did you ever see Adam Montgomery there with a bag in the walk-in cooler? I think I did, but I couldn't say with any absolute certainty.
And what do you think you remember of that?
I believe I recall him either coming into the walk-in or leaving the walk-in with a bag.
He always would just place it inside the walk-in cooler on the lower shelf. Sometimes he would move it to a different location, but it was mainly on the lower left-hand side inside the cooler.
Yeah, that's a joke.
And then we heard more corroborating evidence for Kayla Montgomery's story. We heard from two of Adam Montgomery's former friends, including Brendan Middleton. He's the one that is currently incarcerated. He's in Orange there. And he testified that he helped rent Adam the U-Haul because Adam didn't want that in his name. And then the lady on the left of your screen, Brittany Bedard, she rented the motel room that they stayed the night that Kayla says that Adam left with the CMC bag with Harmony's remains in it. And then he came back in the U-Haul the next morning right before sunrise. But it's very interesting because under cross, she did mention to the fact that she never saw Adam holding that bag. She only saw Kayla holding the bag.
That's fascinating, interesting, potential problem for prosecutors, although I don't think it's going to be a huge problem. But again, Kayla Montgomery, I'm sure many will look at her and say she got a sweet, sweet deal in all this, but it seems that her testimony was very necessary to try to put the pieces together and understand what happened to Harmony. So this bag, I mean, these poor witnesses, they're working hard at the pizza parlor, and to now learn that one of their coworkers is bringing a bag with his daughter's remains in it and putting it in the freezer had to horrify them.
Okay. I have to stop on this one too. Okay, so poor little Harmony is getting toted around literally from place to place in this bag, and he's literally taking it to work and placing it in the bottom shelf. All I'm thinking about is, at what point does a body start stinking really badly?
That's why he kept moving it. He kept trying to get it in places where it was cold.
Yeah, but it's just like I said, you're just picturing this in your head, like, here, I'm just gonna, go to work. There we go. Do.
I mean, never in my life did I think I'd be watching a true crime case, as horrific as they all are, where they literally recovered a child's DNA off the ceiling tile because she'd been kept in the ceiling.
Oh, I know, right? Anyway, and then they go check it.
And she was
like meaning.
I mean, yeah.
They go check out the smell because the smell is horrendous, and there's fluids, and anyways, okay. Just sick.
Yeah, they were not excited about sharing that with the jury. And the jury, each and every time we hear testimony about the Portland Pie Company, remember, it was also part of the jury view. You can see there's a bit of disgust in the faces of these jurors that are going to be making the ultimate decision here.
Yeah, it's ghoulish stuff. Absolutely ghoulish. Okay.
Hi, laconic.
Let's get back to Adam Montgomery. This is a guy who, it seems, had some level of paranoia going on, right? He knows what he's doing with these remains, and it seems that there was some evidence and testimony that he was a little paranoid that perhaps people were onto him.
Yeah, during the 2 days of testimony of Kayla Montgomery on the stand, she was talking about the fact that he would beat her, he would threaten her, and then he would tell her that she is working with authorities. He suspected that there were cameras or microphones throughout the house. And we heard a little bit of testimony about that from the maintenance worker. So at their Union Street apartment, there was a maintenance call because the bathroom was clogged, the drain in the bathroom, in the bathtub. And so this maintenance worker was called there on February 27th, which happens to be one day after police testified that there was the purchase of a grinder saw and also a blade paid for by cash one day before. Well, there's this maintenance call, and when they're working on the house, Adam is acting very strange. Take a listen.
When you're doing this repair, where is Adam Montgomery?
Right outside the bathroom door.
Okay. And are you guys talking at all during that time?
Not really. He's doing more pacing than talking. So.
More pacing than talking.
Yeah, he was just kind of waiting for us to finish. I think I had to go back one more time to fix some lights on the ceiling.
Lights on the ceiling?
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about that?
They were just popped off the ceiling. They were hanging by the wires.
Literally?
Yeah.
Off the ceiling?
Yeah, the wires weren't disconnected. I mean, a light isn't heavy. The lights we use are real light. They'll hang by the wires and still work, but they were hanging by the wires, so put them back up.
Any idea how those lights got pulled down?
Speculation. excuse me, I'll withdraw the question and I'll rephrase. With regards to those lights, did Adam Montgomery tell you how they got pulled down?
He said he took them down because he thought there were cameras in them.
And remember that this Union Street apartment was searched after police were searching for Harmony Montgomery in 2022. And they also were looking into the plumbing there at that house. They also removed the refrigerator, that item, from the house. And we haven't heard much testimony about that refrigerator. We've heard other places where the prosecutors say that her body was stored. But
I'm probably going to say it in a second here. That refrigerator isn't the actual refrigerator. Like that was a new refrigerator
Right.
when it was replaced. I think we should be hearing that in a second. And yeah, Adam was just sending me a few pictures we'll look at after this.
today, from this witness, we heard that when he was flipping the apartment after they left, he threw away all their belongings, he ripped out the carpet, and Vinny, they threw away the refrigerator.
So the refrigerator that was seized by investigators wasn't the one that was in the apartment when Adam and Kayla were there with Harmony's remains.
That's correct, according to this testimony today.
Wow. Wow, that's huge. Because that was such a big day, that search. They wheel out the refrigerator, checking the drains. And there was Adam. I mean, the testimony is that he's working in the bathtub, so there would be potential evidence, biological material in the drains, in the sewers, somewhere perhaps trapped in there. Wow. Okay. So how did the day end today?
With bombshell testimony from a lady that spends her life volunteering, and she actually provides medical rides for people in need that can't make it to their appointments, that have no transportation. Her name is Rose Smith, and she took the stand today, and she talked about giving rides to both Kayla and Adam Montgomery when they needed to get their methadone treatments. And then there was one day in particular, she said, I'll never forget. She looked at the jury and she said, Kayla was being abused. Take a listen.
This is Rose.
When you saw her face, how did she appear to you?
Her left eye was badly bruised and starting to swell shut.
Did you drive her that day down to the methadone clinic?
I drove both of them that day. She was shaky.
Where was Adam when you tried to give her the phone?
He was walking back towards the car, but
And so at that point, you said he was walking back towards the car?
I didn't see Adam there. I saw rage. I saw pure rage walking towards me. He reached into the window of the car and twisted my phone out of my hand and said, "You're not giving my wife that phone."
She said that's the moment that she'll never forget. She said that she bought mace after that particular moment. She carried that with her. I met up with her outside the courthouse here. She spoke with Court TV. Here's what she told us.
That Adam had disappeared and pure blind rage was walking towards me. I described him as Charlie Manson walking towards me. That's what it looked like.
So he's grabbing your phone. Is he holding your hand? Is he, is it a struggle?
It is a struggle. It was a tug of war with the phone.
She says she still has fear about that moment. She said that he looked pure evil. So I asked her if she noticed anything suspicious up until this point. She said that both Adam and Kayla were good actors, and they never once mentioned the name Harmony.
To me, that's game over stuff right there. Because the whole defense is predicated upon Kayla being the killer here, right? And now we've got this dynamic by someone who appears to be a very nice woman, volunteering to do this type of work to help struggling addicts, putting herself in harm's way to help people like Kayla and Adam. Are you kidding me? And she gets confronted by him and she sees what she sees. That's powerful stuff from the prosecution. Matt Johnson, great work as always. Great to see you tonight. My guess is we'll be speaking again tomorrow. Thanks so much, Matt. All right, folks, so when we come back, let's talk about Adam Montgomery, the man on trial here for murder. How did he get custody? How did that happen? We're going to bring in some people very close to it who know a lot about what happened and how a career criminal ends up caring for this special needs girl that he's now accused of murdering. Plus, coming up next hour.
In Dedham, Massachusetts, Karen Reed is accused of murdering her police officer boyfriend, John O'Keefe, but she says she's being framed and police have covered up what really happened. Today, a huge hearing in court, and we have the latest big news.
An innocent child and an unthinkable tragedy.
5-year-old Harmony Montgomery disappeared in 2019.
We just need to find out where she is. I have nothing to say.
Now her own father stands trial for her brutal murder.
I did not kill my daughter Harmony, and I look forward to my upcoming trial.
So many questions that come back to the same question. How could this happen?
The murder of Harmony Montgomery trial. Live coverage weekday mornings, only on Court TV.
Who was Harmony's birth father?
So that's the
Adam
mom.
Montgomery.
And how did you meet him?
Through a mutual friend.
Was he living with you when Harmony was born?
No.
Were the two of you living together when Harmony went to live with the Raffertys?
Never.
Did you ever have any other children with Adam Montgomery?
No.
At some point in 2019, who got custody of Harmony?
Adam.
That's Crystal Story, Harmony's mom. It's tough for her to answer that question, that Adam ended up getting custody. Now, we had her on this program, and I asked her how that happened. Here she is giving an explanation.
So Jameson's case, because he was born in Boston, his case was out of Boston. I had to pick between the two hearings. And it was basically, if I was at either one of them, if I wasn't at either one of them, it was going to go bad for me. So I called my lawyer, Frantic in Lawrence, and I said, I sent over from that courthouse to the other courthouse that I would proof that I was there. He said, I will, quote, fight for a continuance. That never happened. There was no continuance granted. There was no continuance fought for, and they moved forward and handed him custody. So in the same day, not only did my son get adopted, but my daughter got handed over to the one person that I begged them never to give her to. I thought they would give me a chance to go to that court date, like give me a week, just to make it to that court date for Harmony, because I had made it to every single.
Yeah. So just to be clear then, and they'll probably clear it up in a second too, but so, she had another court date at another court for her other son. And so that's why she says like my son got adopted that day. And we're going to actually, I believe in this one here from the father that adopted, shoot, I can't think of that son's name. All of a sudden, it just went blank. But anyways, and then, so there was the Harmony Montgomery court date on the same time. So her lawyer supposedly was going to ask for a continuance, right? And like she said, like one didn't happen. And it's just such a joke. Like, poor Harmony, like such a letdown by the court system, and to this mother. Granted, like she lost, of course, she's drug issues and all that going on, but really just a letdown by the court system. Did you want to say anything, Adam, before I continue?
I was just going to say, Elizabeth clarified the little boy's name is Jameson. Thank you. I was trying to think of it.
Sorry.
I was like, Woodford.
I know they said it.
Yeah. But the other thing is just that, this mother's struggled with her, her own issues clearly. And I think, there has to be she has to have a feeling of guilt when it comes to
sure.
these kids being put in the position where it wasn't even an option that Adam was granted custody. Yeah. So as much as horrible as losing a child is in the first place, then to have this credible feeling of, responsibility in playing a part in that.
Yeah.
Not that I'm blaming her, but
I bet you the judge does too.
Yeah.
Of this case, like of giving him the custody. But I just hope
that Crystal, I hope that she's clean. I hope she's got her act together. It seems that she does, but I hope for her sake that she stays sober.
Yeah, just like I said, I'll hit play still.
Court date, every visit, every class they made me do. I did everything they asked, and they couldn't even give me a continuance.
So that's Crystal Story explaining her recollection of what happened the day that Harmony was handed over to Adam Montgomery. And this comes back to the question, like, how and why would that ever happen? Because at this point, subsequent to this, there's been other charges, but take a look at his criminal history, according to the New Hampshire Union Leader. Charged with possession of a dangerous weapon on school grounds, 2006. Charged with burglary, misdemeanor, simple assault. That case dismissed in January 2008. 2007, charged with criminally threatening his 15-year-old former girlfriend with a knife, domestic violence. 2008, charged with stabbing someone in the leg and pushing him out of a moving vehicle. 2008, charged with robbery after breaking into an apartment and demanding money from two women at gunpoint. Pleaded guilty to armed robbery and assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. Then 2014, this is what he's in prison for, I believe, at the time that Harmony is born. Multiple charges after shooting a man in the head. Did you hear what I said? Shooting a man in the head. He pleaded guilty to larceny from a person, assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, carrying a firearm without a license, and discharging a firearm within 500 feet of a building. How about charging him with attempted murder? Like, that's what it's called when you shoot someone in the head. Ugh. Wow. Okay. So how does he get custody? My guests are going to put a lot of light on this issue. Joining me tonight in Boston, Massachusetts, Boston 25 reporter Bob Ward. In Atlanta, Georgia, the adoptive father of Harmony's brother, Blair Miller, is with us, and retired first justice of the Worcester County Juvenile Court in Massachusetts, and author of the book you need to read. It's about Harmony's case. It's called A Cruel Injustice, How Massachusetts Put a 4-Year-Old Harmony in the Hands of a Monster. Judge Carol Erskine is with us. Okay, Blair, I want to begin with you. Before we even get into this, how's the family? How the kids? How's everybody doing?
Well, Vinny, I appreciate your kindness and appreciate your coverage. We're obviously very concerned about what's happening with the trial. We're very concerned about the details we hear out of the trial. We're trying to live as a family of 5, my husband and our 3 boys, including Jameson. Very busy in school and getting through it each day, but also getting through it with the trial happening. And we're showing some pictures of Jameson here. But
great smile. I love that
he's got a big smile. He's got a big smile and a big heart. And hearing details out of this trial, just awful. And we're certainly ready for this to get beyond this.
Okay, Blair, we heard Crystal's recollection of the day that Harmony was given to Adam. Does that coincide with your recollection of that day?
When we were matched with Jameson, it wasn't even until after Harmony was trial had happened and she was reunited with her father, Adam Montgomery. She talks about these cases happening on the same day. Our understanding is, yes, they were having 2 hearings that same day. Jameson's, we understand, was a pretrial hearing, and Harmony was having her trial. We didn't officially adopt Jameson until November of that year. And you're looking at that picture right here with Judge Erskine and our other boys and Jonathan. But that trial didn't happen until actually later. So both trials didn't happen on the same day, as our understanding.
All right, Bob Ward, from your perspective, reporting on this, what's your take on how this happens, on how a little girl with special needs ends up in the hands of a career criminal?
Well, Vinny, a lot of it is still not really known. The Office of the Child Advocate in Massachusetts.
Oh, hold on a second. I just want to say this. Bless those people out there that, those 2 men that take on children. And it's like, there's people out there that just should not have kids whatsoever, that are either born with drugs and stuff like that. But bless all those people out there that can adopt children, bring children into their lives. That's how I feel so much, is that children deserve, their best life and the best opportunities. So, it's nice to see that Jameson. I don't know what happened with Declan. Do you?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to the other 2 kids either.
Yeah.
That were Kayla, because Kayla and Adam had, I guess, 2 sons and a daughter.
Yeah. Probably in the system, perhaps.
But
what?
Think
2 years.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Isn't it crazy to think? Look at, you look at what happened to Harmony, based on a judge's decision, and then you look at the life that Jameson now has the chance to have, and you look at the difference of that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, thank God for those two people that that are made Jameson a part of their family and are raising him as their own son. So there needs to be more people like that in the world.
Absolutely. And the sad thing is that there is a ton of those people, and then someone like Harmony Montgomery goes right through the cracks of it all, And again, it's so hard to fathom 2 years that nobody knew, meaning from everyone, whether it's friends, whether it's the families, the grandmas, grandpas, whatever. 2 years of not ever, knowing where Harmony Montgomery is, Yeah, I'm sure people question it, but 2 years, that's so rare that you see something like that. Charmaine just did she's considered this my Rickroll for today. Don't want to interrupt 5 times. Thanks, Charmaine. Let's give her a Rickroll. I'm going to desert you, Charmaine, for Frank right here. Hi, Frank. How are you?
Hey, Frank.
There you go. Thanks, Charmaine. Thank you so much. And Rick Astley actually did, like I said, $11.99, I think it was, pounds
Earlier today, yeah.
Yeah. Heard they are with Kayla's mom, not 100%.
I know that they've been very supportive of Crystal throughout this whole process, and I mean they seem to be wonderful people.
You're talking about Kayla's
Jameson's adoptive parents.
Yes. You know like I said, it's so sad that one again slips through that. And thank you, Diana S. as well. TGIF, thank you, Sunny and Aspen. Yeah, thank God
you, Diana.
Yes, it's a long weekend for my husband, so that I always enjoy it when it's Friday and my husband gets to be home. Oh,
$13 Thank you. Consider this my Rickroll for today. Don't want to interrupt 5 times. XOXO, love you both.
Thanks, Charmaine. And she's on the road. Not sure. Are you in Lethbridge now, Charmaine? Because she went to the hockey game there, but I don't know that she ever answered my message back. I have to take a look about it again. Anyways, thank you so much. Hope we get to hear about it, Frank. Just gave the unraveling a piece of my mind. No.
$5. Thank you. TGIF. Thank you, Sunny and Aspen.
Hey, Frank, how'd that go for you?
Yeah, can you imagine Frank? He's so quiet. That's amazing, to be honest with you. I can't picture that whatsoever, Frank. There are others who know where they are and allowed to slip through the cracks. Someone said in chat that Montgomery didn't want them to be Harmony parents. And that was super chat from
that would track.
What'd you say?
That would track that Adam would not approve of them being Harmony's adoptive parents.
Monday, yeah, woohoo. Kim is another Canadian over there. I did in the group with you. Oh, did you? Well, I mean, I seen the one message about the song that maybe I missed some more of that. Oh, they're pissed. Did you fill up a cup of piss for them? Laws need change for those making the decisions. Yeah, I have. It always what always bugs me is like it's always after the fact, but it always seems like it's after the fact. And I don't know how many countless times, and it just seems that way. Maybe it's the perception, but it always feels like CPS. Like, what's the point of you people being there if you're not protecting the children? And I think we're going to hear it in here. So I'll let it play out.
I feel so bad I've known people that work in that system, and there are many times I'm talking about the people that are conducting the actual taking kids to their visits. A lot of those people, they're in between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the judges that hand down the decisions. I'm talking about the people that work for those agencies. I mean, they're they have to do things that sometimes break their hearts.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to hit play. Continue this.
Massachusetts issued a 100-page report that shed a lot of light on the maneuvers that were made and who had custody and when they had custody and that sort of thing. But the actual decision that was made in February of 2019 by the juvenile court judge, we don't get a real clear understanding. What appears is that this decision to hand Harmony over to Adam was done very quickly in an expedited fashion. It was done before Crystal could get to that hearing. That's number one. And number two, it was done, more importantly, I think it was done before New Hampshire had a chance to fully review Adam's living situation in New Hampshire. Massachusetts had asked New Hampshire under the Interstate Compact to come up with a study of where Adam was and some very important information that needed to be done. And there was some red tape that's been explained of why that wasn't done, but it was not done. So the judge didn't have some of this information. And in the end, what trumped Harmony's rights were Adam's rights. And that's the only way I can look at this. And it's still a head scratcher, Vinny. There's still a lot I don't really understand.
Okay, Judge. 5 words: best interests of the child. How could that be the conclusion, giving Harmony to Adam Montgomery? I mean, the guy with this rap sheet, we know the insanity of his life, the drug addiction. My understanding is when there's custody issues, like for people who aren't even career criminals or completely addicted to drugs, but there's allegations going back and forth. Like there's there has to be some caseworker that has to go in, do a complete study of, all right, let me study this person, let me study that person, let me drug test this person, let me drug test that person, let me interview people in their life. Like, this is important stuff. It's not about a couple of drug addicts, it's about a little girl.
That's correct. It's not, everybody thinks it's about the best interest of children, and judges always have that in mind. But the law is that there has to be proof by clear and convincing evidence that the parent is unfit. And really what happened in this trial is that you had 3 lawyers, public counsel lawyers, one for the mom, one for the dad, and one for Harmony. And all 3 of them, each individually, decided to have a strategy that Harmony should go with her father. And so because that was their strategy, essentially, according to the Office of the Child Advocate, they didn't present any evidence. They didn't tell the judge about Harmony's special needs. They didn't tell the judge about Harmony's disabilities. While they don't mention the issue of the criminal record in the OCA report, they said what was presented was just the father's self-serving testimony that his days of criminal behavior, were in the past. And so under the law in Massachusetts, past acts like criminal acts have prognostic value in determining custody. But if it wasn't presented, then the judge wouldn't know. And the OCA basically said it best. The Office of the Child Advocate said if the evidence isn't put before the judge can only decide on what evidence is before the court. And the fact of the matter is reams of evidence didn't come in. This was a one-day trial, as Bob just said. It was a short trial. It was expedited.
Let me ask you this, though, Judge.
4 years and 8 months old.
A little clarification. The special advocate. My understanding, again, I didn't do this work, but my understanding is that there should be like a lawyer in the courtroom advocating for Harmony. Is that who the special advocate was in this case?
There was a lawyer that was appointed to represent the child, and in Massachusetts is one of 9 states that has an express preference representation model, meaning that according to the Committee for Public Counsel Services, the administration basically told the OCA that the lawyer for Harmony, quote, achieved Harmony's goal. That was one thing they said. And then the other thing they said was Harmony's preference, and that the lawyer then used him or her substituted judgment in going along with what Harmony said. It's really a dangerous representation model in Massachusetts. And that's one thing that Blair and Jonathan and I are trying to change, getting a special guardian ad litem, a best interest guardian ad litem on every single case for every single child, so that a lawyer just doesn't take the child's position and putting the child in danger.
Yeah, I mean, that's bizarre. That's bizarre. We only have about 30 seconds in this segment, but Judge, one more question for you. A judge is the judge, right? Like, you're on the bench, you're the judge, you're in charge. Like, you can say, well, do we have any information about your living conditions? Do we have any information about your criminal record? Do we have any information about you being violent in the past? And, can we wait for the mother to come here? Like, a judge could do all that.
Yes, one of the issues that I write about is the fact that Crystal Sorey asked for a continuance, and she actually had a petition before the court the very same day to be heard. And although there wasn't a trial in Boston, it may have been a pre-trial or it may have been a hearing on the merits for custody. The fact of the matter is she did have to be in both places. And as far as the other issues, judges have been warned. Juvenile court judges have been warned not to get into substantive issues because they're not supposed to be on one side or the other. And, that's something that doesn't fall on deaf ears and didn't for me either. So it's not like the judge could say, well, is there a criminal record? The judge has to decide based on what's put into evidence. They did put in evidence just by him saying, yep, I have a house and I have a job. But according to the OC.
Is it just me, or did she have one of the shittiest defenders ever? like Sarah, Crystal.
Public defender, yeah.
Like seriously, like didn't provide any documents to show his history. Didn't even do the continuance. Like was that
Right, because sadly nothing. Until something horrible like what happened to Harmony happens, this guy probably had 5 other cases on his desk, exactly the same. Two addict parents, and here let's and they don't put all of their weight behind trying to help them.
Right. Yeah, I just this case is disgusting.
CA, there was no proof. He didn't provide proof that he had a job, pay stubs, or
Well, judge can still make a finding of credibility. I don't find you credible. Give me something to corroborate. I don't understand. I don't understand how. I sit here now, and it seems that the system needs to be changed, and you and Blair are working on that. But to me, it's insanity that no one is advocating what's best for the child. That is beyond insane. Okay, everyone is staying with us. When we come back, we're going to talk about what happened to Harmony once she got to New Hampshire, and how do you lose track of this little girl? And what about family services in New Hampshire when they got a call? What did they do? What didn't they do?
I was, calling DCF. I was, telling my therapist, talking to anybody that I knew was either a mandated reporter or had some type of leverage because I wasn't getting anywhere.
Did they just throw a NutriBullet commercial?
When you got home, did you see Harmony there?
This is the uncle.
I did.
Yeah. Where did you see her?
I see her standing in the kitchen.
And when you saw her in the kitchen, how did she look to you?
She had a black eye.
How did the black eye look?
Full, like a raccoon's eye, black and blue.
Black and blue?
Yes.
And when you say full, what do you mean by full? Can you give us a good
All the way
example?
around.
That's Adam Montgomery's uncle, who witnessed what happened to little Harmony. And he called out Adam on it, and he found out what happened, and he made an anonymous call to family services. He told family members about it as well. He didn't sit on the information and do nothing. So family service worker goes there, protective service worker goes there the first time, apparently sees Adam and Harmony, but they're leaving, so decides to come back a second time. About a week later, he testified about that second returning trip to investigate this anonymous call. Take a listen.
I did notice a small red mark under one of her eyes and some redness and discoloration in the eye that was closest to that.
Did the defendant tell you anything regarding how that injury occurred?
He did. He said that he had bought the kids, 2 younger children, he bought the kids like foam swords or lightsabers, and that they were playing with them, and that Harmony was struck in the face and the eye. And that's how she got that mark.
Nothing like taking Adam Montgomery for his word. Bob Ward, this was another opportunity here, right? We're looking at the life of Harmony Montgomery. Another opportunity, a person who's in the business of protecting children. And that's as far, apparently, as this investigation went.
I'll tell you, Vinny, and I think that may be the last best chance to save Harmony's life was that worker and that visit. That's how crucial this is, because that's in middle of July 2019. The uncle goes and sees this huge black eye on Harmony, and you saw how it disturbed him. And he confronted Adam about it. Adam gave a vulgar reply about what he did. He admitted hitting Harmony. And then that uncle did the stand-up thing and filed a complaint right away. From what I understand, that social worker got to the house, but by the time it got to him, it's about a week later. And he sees Adam and Harmony leaving the house, getting in the car as he's walking up, and he lets them drive away. He goes to the front door and talks to Kayla. And Kayla said, oh, that was Adam and Harmony, and they'll be back later. So then they arrange a couple of phone calls to come back and have this visit. And there was another visit that didn't happen because Adam got on the phone and said, we do have something scheduled, but Harmony's sick, caught something from one of the other kids in the house. Can we postpone this? And that's why it got pushed back to August 7th. And so by the time this social worker sees Harmony for himself, he does not see a black eye. He only sees that red mark because it's been a couple of weeks. It's healed. And then there are a couple of more visits unannounced to the house. And by October, which I think is the last time that social worker was at the Guilford Street house and saw Harmony for himself, he said he didn't think there was anything to the black eye, did say that the living conditions weren't the greatest, that the child might be at risk, but that was it, Vinny. That was it. I know police were called to that house for other reasons. There were other 9/11 calls, but nothing happened. And she's gone in December 7th. They're evicted a month later for non-payment of the mortgage. There's no heat. From what we've been told with reports that there was trash everywhere. It was not a place to have kids. Yet the social worker signed off on it, I guess. And I do think that is the last time that the system could have saved Harmony Montgomery.
So now let's flash forward. December 31st, 2021, two things are happening. And now all of a sudden, 2 years later, after she disappears in 2019, things start to happen. Take a look.
Adam, right? Remember? Yeah. Do you remember me from the Elliott Hospital from a while back, man? Yeah, I got nothing to say. Right. So, hey, man, the only thing we're trying to figure out is where Harmony is, right? Okay. So, the concern is that you guys are saying, right? You're not in trouble. Nobody said you're losing your daughter, right? So, I want to make that clear. So, I have a body tomorrow, just like everybody else is being on to do. So, you just need to find out where she is. That's all I'm concerned about. You're not in any trouble right now that I know of. Okay. You have no warrants. Okay. So, where's your daughter so we can check on her to make sure that she's okay? Right now, I have nothing to say. But that's not what I'm just asking where she is. I have nothing to say.
Manchester Police received a report this week that Harmony Montgomery has not been seen since late 2019, when she was last seen in a residence in Manchester at that time. The circumstances surrounding this prolonged absence are very concerning and are thoroughly being investigated as we speak. At this time, I'm not going to discuss or comment specifically on the investigation, other than say that we have spoken with family members of Harmony, and despite doing so, our concerns for the whereabouts of her remain the same, which is why I felt it was imperative to speak publicly about Harmony, with the hopes that by doing so, we'll bring greater attention to this investigation.
Blair Miller, why is it at this point now that suddenly Harmony is on the radar, and now you've got the chief is looking for her, police are talking to Adam? What's going on here 2 years after the fact?
Well, and prior to that, we had been talking a lot to Crystal, and she was very concerned about where Harmony was, and we became concerned. We were concerned for Jameson's sake. Jameson had a close relationship with Harmony, and they were in foster homes together. And he would ask us, I want to speak to my sister. My husband, Jonathan, tried to reach out to Adam Montgomery, sending messages on Facebook, trying numbers we had. And we just kept asking questions about where is she and what needs to happen. A lot of things can change after this trial. And one of those is sibling visitations. And had Jameson and Harmony been required to have visitations, we would have been up there in New Hampshire and been allowed to see Harmony, get eyes on her, to see how she's doing, make sure she was in a good situation, make sure she was going to school, make sure she was getting the medical care she needed for her special needs. None of that happened. That needs to change so more people can see what's happening to these kids who are put in situations where we just trust they're in an okay situation.
Judge, we only have about 30 seconds. Are you optimistic that things can get better so we don't have a repeat of what happened to Harmony?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to be optimistic. It's been difficult with the legislature. For me, it's all about changing the ICPC and interstate compact and making sure that there is no opportunity for a child on a child abuse and neglect case to cross state lines to live with someone without an ICPC. And that's, I think, one of the things Blair and Jonathan and I are working on. We've been in contact with Congressman McGovern out of Massachusetts to see whether or not we can get change at a federal level. It does not make sense to do.
Okay. So, I mean, there's a lot here, to be honest with you. So just to be clear on this one, I think it's Anne said Harmony's mom is the one who started going to the press, etc. So is this basically when this case, became more into the open, like the awareness of it was because of the mom, Crystal going to the press, and bringing this story open, and I mean, frick, all the headline has to read is for 2 years, child, is missing type of idea in there. Anyways, so, and Kim said that's why this social worker quit his job. Okay, so he quit his job, did he? I mean, I'm sure that he probably took some slack, I'm sure, off this, especially when they're testifying and putting to the public. Then you get to see who they are. Anyways, Adam, go ahead.
No,
Aspen. Can't call
I don't really have anything to add. It's just sickening.
This whole story just makes you want to throw up and upchuck like I said, from Crystal, like I said, trying to get a continuance. Her lawyer obviously sucks ass. Like I said, to not have all those charges that he had, you know what I mean? It's just like fail, fail, fail. And then again, he pushes off the, oh, Harmony's sick, da. And by the time the guy goes see her, there's just a little spot of red left after the time, since postponing it, of course. And, yes, that poor Uncle Kevin, thank God, that he had the courage enough and, to sit there and turn around and report him. And he, like I said, Kevin had said that Adam said that he had hit her, but then Adam tells the social worker there that, oh yeah, bought the kids some swords. Oops, one got poked in the eye, and
yeah, right. I bought the kids some toys.
Yeah. Oh, he's a mailman now. On there, okay. So I want to go to the other one that I had here. Where is it? Nope, up there. This one here, I believe. We'll go
Friends of the defendant, Adam Montgomery. Court
This is from
ended
today.
with police body cam that showed an encounter between the police and the defendant, Adam Montgomery. The state's case is set to resume on Tuesday after the Monday holiday. That's where we're going to start now. Joining us, we have Court TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson. Matt, you've been there. You've been inside that courtroom. Week 2 ended with a cliffhanger. Tell us about that.
Judge Ashley, Michael, nice to see you both. Yeah, so week 2, after more than dozens of witnesses take the stand, bit of a cliffhanger on this early Friday that the jury has let loose. Outside of their presence, the attorneys were arguing about a mystery witness who came forward during the course of this trial, called the tip line, spoke with police, did an interview with them. Here's what was said in court.
We learned of this same individual Wednesday afternoon that Attorney Smith is speaking about, and within about 10 minutes of us getting the report, we immediately provided it over. We're also going to be looking at it, but I can tell you we've had no contact with this person. We'll certainly look at it. I guess we could ask whether or not our advocate could try to locate a phone number and maybe reach out and have her try not to watch anything additional for the sequestration, but we have no contact with this person.
This person there's just a tip line information. This person has not been interviewed?
Detective Rayhill interviewed. They did. Apparently they called the tip line, if I can just summarize briefly. Apparently they called the tip line Tuesday after having watched the trial for several days. And in response to the tip line, Manchester police said, okay, and sent a detective over to interview, or excuse me, I believe she came into the station to be interviewed, provided a statement that was audio and video recorded. The detective wrote that up and forwarded to us about 3 hours later, along with a copy of the video of the interview.
At the end of the day, still unclear whether or not the state is going to call this mystery witness. The defense pointing out the rule of sequestration could be a problem with this particular person. And then they also brought up the fact that they may want to call Kayla Montgomery's attorney to the stand after Kayla was informed by her attorney that they're pointing the finger at her during their opening statements.
All right, now, we know that Adam didn't show up in court today, all right? But they did see him, but on body cam. It was interesting the way it all played out. Tell us about that testimony and what this jury was able to see.
Right. This is one of the first times that the jury has seen him moving around other than them holding up one of his mugshots for witnesses to identify him, because there has been an empty chair for the past 8 days of this trial so far. So today there was an officer on the stand with Manchester Police Department, Craig Stanzel, and he played behind him. The state played the interaction that he had with Adam Montgomery about 1.5 years, 2 years after Harmony went missing. Here's what he said on the stand.
You're not in trouble. Nobody said you're losing your daughter. Okay, so I want to make that clear. That's all, I have my body tomorrow, just like everybody else is being on. So we just need to find out where she is. That's all I'm concerned about. I mean, you're not in any trouble right now that I know of. Okay. We have no warrants. Okay. So where's your daughter so we can check on her to make sure that she's okay? Right now, I have nothing to say. But that's not what I'm just asking where she is. I have nothing to say. So you don't care if your daughter's okay? I do. I listen, I have nothing to say.
And that key witness, again, for the state, this was an officer that had that encounter with Adam Montgomery. So the jury in the jury box paying close attention to the video, but it was completely silent. They didn't hear what you're able to hear at home, that interaction when he didn't want to answer questions about his daughter. Michael, Ashley?
Wow, this is really an interesting case, and something else happened today that was interesting. We don't always see this. A witness, I understand, Matt, who did not want to testify, but I believe might have ended up testifying. Tell us about that.
Right, dodged testimony for more than 2 days after being subpoenaed, and critical to the case, talking about abuse of Kayla Montgomery at the hands of Adam Montgomery, according to her testimony. So there were 2 times that she didn't take to the stand. She was going to testify about these black eyes that she had witnessed. Her name is Nicole Giles. We've been instructed not to show her face as she enters the courtroom and when she testified, because she was worried about her own safety. That's why she was dodging the subpoena. But here's what she told the jury.
It was kind of cluttered, a little messy, those cockroaches. It was only a 1-bedroom. There was holes in the walls, ceiling. There was one time I went there and I don't know, it looked like the living room was torn apart and half the walls.
What about the light fixtures? Did you ever notice anything about the light fixtures there?
Yeah, they were hanging from the ceiling. Assumed the owners were spying on him, listening to his conversations.
So today, in summary, the jury really thinking about, for the long 3-day weekend, about abuse of Kayla Montgomery that was testified to today, his paranoia, and then also his lies.
All right, Matt Johnson, thank you so much for that report. As always, we'll be talking to you again a little later in the show. And Judge, quickly, I just want to point out an interesting judge's ruling regarding that video. We heard the audio where he didn't want to help police in helping find Harmony. They weren't able to hear it, but they were able to see the video. Interesting choice by the judge.
Right, and so the judge did it because of his Fifth Amendment right not to incriminate himself. Yes. Every criminal defendant has that right, and if they'd played his speaking, that could have violated that Fifth Amendment right. So I think it was a very smart ruling by the judge.
Yeah, and they could look at the video, see his demeanor, right, and use that against him if they chose to, but not his words.
And those words would have been more impactful.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I think the reason why you guys didn't get a notification is because I didn't post it to the community. Did anyone get a notification now? Because that's probably what happened. I was looking at that when another person said I didn't get a notification. So typically I do like a little roundabout stuff for a sec. Let me see. Did I put it on Twitter? I feel like I thought I shared this around. Let me just take a quick boo here. 1 hour ago. Okay, I see it on Twitter. Yeah. So I think I did. Okay. So yeah, so I guess I didn't put it. I don't think I think I posted the one earlier from the Delphi, but I didn't post this one for whatever reason. I normally have a little circle I do, but I don't typically forget. So yeah, anyways, I did put it there now in case, because I was going to say that there shouldn't be. I was proud of myself. Remember, you had live streams on Fridays. Thanks, Ivy. Okay, so let me take this down and put this, just the one, this guy right here. Okay, so this is, what's his name? Travis Beach. Travis Beach. Yeah, so Travis Beach. He's got quite good. Oh, I shouldn't make any comment about his Dumbo ears. My nephew had ears like that, and then he had to got him pinned back.
Stand it up again and just raise your right hand.
Do you swear that the testimony that you're going to provide this jury will be the truth and the whole truth under the pains and penalties of perjury?
I don't have to put down.
Thank you, sir. You can make yourself comfortable. Have a seat. There's some water in front of you if you'd like some.
And Mr. Beach, I'm just going to remind you that it's a big room and all the jurors need to hear you, so please keep your voice up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
YouTube is strange how it does its stuff.
Mr. Beach, can you start by stating and spelling your full name for the record?
My name is Travis Beach, Travis Beach.
Can't help it.
And Mr. Beach, what city and state do you live in?
I currently live in Concord, New Hampshire.
Concord.
How long have you been a New Hampshire resident?
All my life, 39 years.
You're 39 years old?
Yes, sir.
And are you currently employed?
Yes, sir.
How are you employed?
I work at EB Metals in Bow, New Hampshire.
And what do you do for them?
They make bolts.
There's studs, RC. It's construction metal.
And can you tell these jurors what kind of work you've done in your life, in your career?
Carpentry, roofing, tree work, painting. Yeah, that's about it.
Mr. Beach, what was your highest level of education?
I graduated 12th, sir.
You graduated high school?
Yes, sir.
And I want to switch gears just a bit. Back in March of 2020, where were you residing?
Concord State Prison.
Okay. In early March.
I was Manchester, New Hampshire.
In prison.
And at some point in March, you were arrested. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Prior to that arrest, do you remember the date of that arrest?
I don't, not off the hand.
Does March 5th sound correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Prior to March 5th of 2020, where were you living?
I was it was Manchester, New Hampshire. I'm not sure the address.
And that's fine. You were in Manchester?
Yes, sir.
And who did you reside with in Manchester?
Barbara Ewell.
Do you know someone named Brittany Bedard?
Yes, sir.
How do you know Miss Bedard?
She's my ex-girlfriend.
And during that period that we're talking about, early March of 2020, was she your girlfriend?
Yes, sir.
And how long at that point had you known Miss Bedard?
10 years.
Did she reside with you, with Miss Ewell?
No, sir.
Mr. Beach, do you know an individual named Brendan Middleton?
Yes, sir, I do.
And how do you know Mr. Middleton?
Through we were working together at Accurate Tree Service.
How long have you known Mr. Middleton?
About 5 years.
And that's at that point back in March of 2020?
Yes, sir.
How would you describe your relationship with him? Were you friends or something else?
I remember all these people have immunity.
I wouldn't say friends. It was more of a co-worker at the time.
Okay. I want to switch gears for just a moment.
Gears.
You mentioned going to state prison on March 5th of 2020. Were you convicted of a theft by deception and theft by unlawful taking back in 2019?
That's correct.
Were you also convicted of theft by deception in a 2014 case?
Yes, sir.
How about theft by unlawful taking in a 2016 case?
Call me judgmental, Kim, but I couldn't get by the years.
I believe I was incarcerated at the time.
Okay. Turning to this case, do you know someone named Adam Montgomery?
Yes. Yes, sir.
And how long have you known Mr. Montgomery?
Since he was 17 years old.
17. Would you recognize him if you saw him today?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I approach this witness?
Yes, you may.
Would you recognize him if you saw him today?
Mr. Beach, I'm showing you State's Exhibit 101.
Yes,
Do you
sir.
recognize the individual depicted in this image?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a piece of shit.
Adam Montgomery.
The same Adam Montgomery you've known since you were 17?
Yes, sir.
And back in early March of 2020, February into March of 2020, had you recently reconnected with Mr. Montgomery?
Yes, sir.
And how did that happen?
I was at the mall in New Hampshire, and I was at the food court, and Adam was there with his girlfriend, and that's how him and I started talking again.
Do you remember his girlfriend's name?
Kayla.
And at some point after that interaction that you had with him at the mall, did he contact you requesting your help with something?
Yes, sir.
And can you tell the jurors what the nature of that communication was?
He asked me if I could rent him a U-Haul, and I said yes.
And do you recall when he contacted you?
For the U-Haul?
For the U-Haul.
Later on during the day.
I want to back up for just a moment. Back in March of 2020, did you have a Facebook account?
Yes, I did.
And do you recall what your Facebook account, the name of that Facebook, your name on that Facebook account was?
Travis Beach.
Did you were you friends with the defendant on that Facebook account?
Yes, sir.
And so when he contacted you and asked you to rent him a U-Haul, what did you do?
I didn't hesitate. He's a friend. I wasn't thinking of anything negative. I was at his apartment. I saw everything packed up. I put one and one together, thought it was two, but it wasn't.
Okay. And let me stop you there, Mr.
Yes,
Middleton. You said you were at his apartment and you saw things packed up.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember where his apartment was?
Union Street, I believe.
And that's here in Manchester?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember when you were at his apartment?
2020.
Were you at his apartment with Brittany Bedard, with Miss Bedard that you mentioned?
Yes, sir, I was.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
So, Mr. Bedard, sorry, Mr. Beach, I'm showing you State's Exhibit 55. Do you recognize the individual depicted there?
Adam Montgomery's son.
Okay. And you mentioned that Miss Beach was with you during that interaction.
Yes, sir.
Does this accurately reflect your memory of his son that day that you went to the apartment?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And can you just read the date at the bottom of that image?
Sunday, March 1st, 2020 at 6:02 p.m.
So having that in mind, does that refresh your recollection as to the actual day that you went to the defendant's apartment on Union Street?
Yes, sir.
Did you have any discussions with the defendant when you went to that apartment?
We had multiple, yes, sir.
Specifically with respect to the rental of a U-Haul van.
I'm sorry?
Specific to the rental of a U-Haul van.
Yes,
what were
sir.
those discussions that you had with the defendant?
We did. What were the discussions?
What did he say to you?
He asked me to rent him a U-Haul. He needed to move stuff, and I.
So I know when this guy's talking that, he just thought, well, he was moving his stuff, like didn't really need to question him about it. Just thought he was moving the stuff and, but so what was the reason for the U-Haul? What was the reason for the U-Haul?
Everything I've read has said that at the time, maybe still, U-Haul, especially the size they rented, were cheaper than renting a rental car.
Oh, okay. Was it just one of those little small?
And for anyone that's ever rented a car, it's probably easier to actually rent than a rental car. You have less stipulations.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because I was sitting there like trying to figure out like what was the point of that?
Yeah, that's it.
You wanted to help, it sounds
Yes,
like.
sir.
Did you help him? Did you in fact help him rent a U-Haul?
Not per se myself. I got somebody to rent him a U-Haul. So in aspect, yes, sir.
Okay. And I want you to walk us through that. You said you got someone to rent him a U-Haul.
Yes, sir.
Who is that someone that you're referring to?
Brendan Middleton.
And the same Brendan Middleton that at that point you'd known for 5 years?
Yes, sir.
And so this wasn't...
That was that guy, if you guys remember from the last one we watched. Not the last one, but the one before that, like the very beginning when we watched of Court TV. That was the guy when they were showing like Brittany Bedard, and then they were showing that guy. What was his name that he just said? Adam, what was the guy's name that he just said? We got to rent it to.
Are you talking about Brendan?
Yeah, whoever he just said here.
Middleton?
Per se myself. I got somebody to rent him a U-Haul. So in aspect, yes, sir.
Yeah, there's Brendan Middleton.
And I want you to walk us through that. You said
So that was the guy in the orange
U-Haul.
jumpsuit from the
Who is that someone that you're referring to?
Brendan Middleton.
Yeah, okay.
And the same Brendan Middleton that at that point you'd known for 5 years?
Yes, sir.
And so this wasn't the same day. This was a separate day. Can you walk us through getting that U-Haul with Brendan Middleton?
Yeah. And Kim French, I'm not saying
I myself didn't have a license at the time.
Dismember the body in there.
So
I'm just saying that one of the reasons
Brittany,
they chose U-Haul was also cheaper.
To get the Brittany Bedard to get the U-Haul, and she couldn't
So we had Brandon Middleton rent the U-Haul because he's the one that had the license at the time.
The day that you got the U-Haul, where were you staying? Where were you sleeping that day?
At the time, at Barbara Yule's house.
At some point during that period, did you go to the Econo Lodge and stay there?
Yes, I did.
Do you recall how many nights you stayed there?
One night.
Do you know whose name that room was in?
I'm pretty sure it was Brittany Bedard's.
And did the defendant also stay at that hotel with you?
Yes, sir.
Separate room or same room?
Separate room. He was on the first floor and I was on the second floor.
So you're staying at this hotel. At what point do you go and get the U-Haul?
I gotta fast forward.
It was later on during the night. It was like it was dark out, so 8-ish.
Can you tell the jurors who you went with? Who accompanied you to get you?
Myself, Brittany Bedard, Brendan Middleton.
Okay. And where did you go to get that U-Haul?
The U-Haul place on South Willow Street here in Manchester, New Hampshire.
South Willow Street.
Yes, sir.
What did you do after getting the U-Haul, Mr. Beach?
There's a gas station right next to the U-Haul place. We stopped there, put gas in it, and then we went back to the Econo Lodge.
When you say we went back to the Econo Lodge?
Myself, Brittany Bedard, and Brendan Middleton.
And what did you do when you returned to the Econo Lodge?
We did drugs at the Econo Lodge.
Yes.
I liked when I found it interesting when he also said he wasn't allowed to talk to Kayla. You'll hear that in just a few minutes.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Mr. Beach, when you say we did drugs, who's the we that you're referring to?
Myself, Brittany Bedard, Adam, and Kayla Montgomery.
And what drugs are you referring to? What kind of drugs?
Cocaine.
Is that crack cocaine?
Yes, sir.
At some point during that time, while you're doing drugs, did you exchange keys?
Yes, sir.
You provided me all keys?
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about that interaction. Can you tell the jurors where you were when you gave him the keys and what specifically he told you?
Myself and Brittany Bedard gave the keys to Adam Montgomery, which he was staying at the Econo Lodge on the first floor. After that, Adam Montgomery and myself went outside to smoke a cigarette. He was pacing back and forth. He said he effed up, and I asked him what he meant, and all he could say and repeat was he effed up. And I'm not sure.
You said he repeated that?
Yes, sir.
How many times did he repeat?
4 or 5 times.
When you say asked, did he actually say the word?
Yes, sir.
What did he say?
Am I allowed to say? I fucked up.
You repeated that?
Yes, sir.
Multiple times.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Did you ask him to clarify?
I did, and he did not.
Did he say anything when you asked him to clarify?
All he kept saying was that I fucked up.
Where was Kayla during that conversation?
Kayla was in the first floor at the Econo Lodge with Brittany.
I think you said this already, but at that point, when you went out to smoke the cigarette, you'd already given him the U-Haul keys.
Correct.
At any point during your time at that Econo Lodge, did you see the defendant drive the U-Haul?
I did not.
At some point, did you go back to your own room with Miss Bedard?
Yes, sir.
And prior to going back to your own room, had you seen him drive the U-Haul at all?
No, I did not.
Was the sun out when you went back to your own room, or
no, sir? It was still nighttime.
It was nighttime.
Yes, sir.
And do you know what the defendant did with the U-Haul?
I don't.
Did you attempt to get in touch with him the following day about the U-Haul?
No, sir.
Do you think seeing those your Facebook messages would refresh your recollection at that point?
Yes, sir.
May I approach the witness?
Yes, you may.
So, Mr. Beach, I'm showing you what's been marked for identification. It's State Exhibit 139.
Yes, sir.
Will you take a look at the second page of this document and just look up when you're done? So let me ask you this while you're reviewing. Do you recognize what that is?
No, sir.
Okay. So at the top of the page, does it say something there?
Meta Platform Businesses Record.
Meta Platform Business Records?
Yes.
Are you familiar with Meta?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, so let's look on, does it say what the service is there?
Facebook.
Okay. And then halfway down the page, does it say first and last name?
First name Travis, middle name is blank, last name is Beach.
Okay, and I want to talk about the specific records.
Yes, sir.
Hang on just a moment.
And exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Right. Like, was Adam like, hey, you get me this U-Haul, and hey, I've got all this coke we could do tonight.
So I'm just going to ask that you review page 139, and I'm going to point you right here. If you can start there, and then this is front and back, so you should go through.
Would you like me to read it out loud?
No, just to yourself.
Okay.
And so I'm going to draw your attention to right here, this message.
Right.
So having reviewed that, does that refresh your recollection with respect to whether or not you reached out to the defendant about the U-Haul?
I mean, it's right. I don't remember it, but it states right there. So yes.
All right. And I'm going to hand you what's been marked for identification as State's Exhibit 140.
Yes, sir.
And I'm just going to ask you to read that top message.
Out loud?
No, to yourself. And is that the same message you just read on your?
On this page, yes, sir.
All right. So with respect to these messages, are they fair and accurate in terms of the messages that you exchanged with the defendant?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I move to strike what's been marked for identification as State's Exhibit 140 and mark full and publish to the jury.
Any objection?
140 is communication as opposed to the certified records. No objection to 140.
The ID is stricken. It's entered as a full exhibit. It may be published.
I'm going to take these back.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask that you hold on to this. We're going to go through it.
Agree, Dan.
So I'm going to put the exhibit that's in front of you, State's Exhibit 140, up on the screen behind you. And I'm just going to ask that you look back and take a look at what's on the screen, the TV screen behind you. Other than the little red sticker at the bottom, is that the same image that you have in front of you?
Yes, sir.
And so you can refer to the image in front of you, but I'm just going to ask that you identify a few things. Starting with the top message, can you tell us who the sender of that message is? What's the name of the individual? It says next to author.
Travis Beach.
And that's you.
Correct.
Can you tell us when that message was sent? And it's right below the author's name.
March 4th, 2020 at 1947.
And do you see where it says UTC?
Yes, sir.
Are you familiar with Coordinated Universal Time, Mr. Beach?
No, sir.
I still don't
Fair to
understand.
say, though, it's not Eastern
Universal
Standard
Time.
Correct.
Okay. And can you tell us what you wrote? The slide immediately, or the
I think so
message
too,
that says
Kim.
body.
Bro, what U-Haul did you drop it off at? Because he just got a text saying the van was supposed to be back at 2, so please let me know. WTF is going on.
And after you sent that message, did you immediately send another message? Can you go to the next where it says body?
ASAP.
So if you can refer to the message below, can you tell us who the author of that message is?
Facebook.
Okay. And is there a specific number attached to that?
Next to Facebook?
Next to Facebook.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us what that number is? Can you read it for us?
100090078885803.
Okay. And you initially said this was your communication with the defendant, Adam Montgomery.
What'd you say, Adam?
Did that used to have a name?
Because Adam deleted his Facebook.
When you
Right.
made those messages, when you communicated with the defendant, did his Facebook account have a name?
Adams?
Adams.
Yes, sir.
What was the name of his Facebook account?
Adam Montgomery?
Okay. And that's no longer there. Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you can go to when that message was sent, just below the author. And if you can read the date and time of the response.
Yeah.
3/4/2020, 1947.
So if you can go to the next message where it says sent.
You want me to read the number again?
No, not the number, the time where it says sent under the Facebook author. So the next line down from that.
Yep. 000820.
Okay. And what's the date associated with that time? And I have it up behind you if you need to refer to that.
3/5/2020.
Okay. And if you can refer to the actual body of the message that you received from the defendant, can you read that for us?
Please don't message me stuff like this on Facebook again.
Okay, you skipped one message. You can go up to the message before that.
I dropped it off on Willow, my word.
All right. And let's go to the next message. If you can tell us That's also from the defendant. Can you verify that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what's the time of that message?
000844.
And that again is UTC.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And same date as the last message. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Now let's go to the body of that message. If you can read that to the jurors.
Please don't message me stuff like this on Facebook again.
Do you know why the defendant didn't want you
Just put
messaging stuff
thumb
to
with
him
it.
about a U-Haul rental?
No.
And let me back up. You said earlier you didn't know what he was using this U-Haul for.
Correct.
Did you ask him?
No, sir.
Why not?
Honestly, I didn't think I had to because I saw all his belongings packed up. And during the day, he said he was having problems with DCYF. So I kind of figured that he was moving.
And were you aware that he had just moved into that apartment?
No, sir.
Did you ask Kayla what the U-Haul was for?
I wasn't allowed to talk to Kayla.
Why weren't you allowed to talk to Kayla?
I
Oh,
didn't ask.
maybe that's so sad.
Mr. Beach, did you ever meet a child in Harmony, Montgomery?
No, sir. No, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Beach. No additional questions for you, sir.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Beach.
Yes, sir.
I'm Jamie Brooks, and I represent Mr. Montgomery. You indicated on direct examination that you reconnected with Adam. I believe you said it was February of 2020.
I didn't say February.
Do you know when it was?
Honestly, no.
But it was at the Mall of New Hampshire?
Correct.
Food court specifically?
Correct.
Fair to say that it was prior to these March events.
Yeah. Yes.
And Kayla was with Adam at the food court?
Correct.
Were any kids with Adam and Kayla at the food court?
They're two sons.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
There are no additional questions for this witness asked that he be excused.
Right. The object-
Okay, so that guy is pretty much done right there. So yeah, that to me is very damning. Like I want to say something because obviously, if Adam Montgomery is saying that Kayla did it, if she knew where Harmony Montgomery's body was, she would be singing like a canary, you know, to give proof that hey, I know where Harmony's body is. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I don't believe she does know. I believe that Adam, you know, rented the U-Haul, dismembered Harmony in it. And I don't think that she knows or asked, probably. What do you think about that? Because if Kayla knew and he's trying to place the blame on her, she would be singing like a canary if she actually knew where Harmony was put the remains. What do you think?
I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Just seeing what people are saying here. And then that message on Facebook. Yeah, exactly. Like, why would you say, like, don't message me on here again?
Exactly. And
You
then, I mean, we know by the odometer for the U-Haul,
Right.
I think it was like 136, 133 miles total were put on the U-Haul. So he didn't go far in it.
No. Exactly. Well, this is what I'm wondering. Like, do they not have, you know, I guess, I don't know.
They did. They had GPS on the U-Haul, and they
Yeah.
spent a good amount of time searching in the area that it went to.
It went to, but nothing, eh?
No.
And I'm sure they would have taken dogs out there.
And Kim French might know more about that.
Yeah.
That was just my understanding of it.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, you know, I know that say they don't have her remains, but and again, most people are given him immunity here just so that they could, like I said, you know, speak. And basically, it's like, yeah, like you can't lie when you're under oath and given immunity, type of thing. So it's just like speak your truth type of thing. And so I don't think in any way, shape, or form, and if some people do think it's that Kayla actually killed Harmony Montgomery, I say go check yourself in somewhere, because to me it is very clear that Adam Montgomery, from pretty much the beginning, and she was there. She's a piece of shit herself. She's a
Self-serving.
disgusting bag of crap. Because again, this this is all about a child that, probably was scared shitless of her dad. Obviously, we know she was being abused. And like a lot of children, right? She was probably having those accidents in the car. I'm sure if her dad screamed at her, I wouldn't doubt if she soiled herself, because she was, I'm sure, scared of him. It wouldn't make sense that Kayla would be the one. And again, we are hearing just from Kayla for the most part, but you're also hearing, a lot from these other people as well. And, everything is just like Adam. Adam got us to rent a U-Haul. Da-da-da. Of course, Kayla knows, about it all. But again, she's self-preserving herself. Like I said,
and here she might get paroled come May.
She didn't ask because she didn't care. Right.
That to me it bothers me. But
so say that again, Adam.
I mean, she's up for her first parole hearing in May.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she very well may get paroled.
How much time did she get?
Oh, I don't know. I actually don't know the answer to that off the top of my head. I have it written down somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And really that's what this boils down to, is that, they just want, here, take immunity. We just want to know what happened to Harmony Montgomery. And, best case scenario is that they find the remains, whatever condition those remains would be in, or places. It's so, it's
18 months.
Hey?
18 months. That's all she got.
Oh, yeah. Slap on the wrist there.
So that's why I said she very well may get out in May.
Yeah, I don't see this being okay. I believe that she was domestic violence against her. Absolutely.
She was a
But
victim.
do I believe that that's what prohibited her? I'm so scared. I can't see anything.
And it raises an interesting question. Does being a domestic violence victim make you immune to being complicit in another crime?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Exactly. And Canadian, her mom has the 3 kids. That's right. I couldn't remember if they were in the system or if her mom had them. So, Kamei, she very well may have her kids back.
I can't see that.
The kids are with her mom.
Yeah. See, something like that. She should never be around a child again, be able to be around a child again at all. That's no. So just in chat here for this 37 people watching, just put a 1 in chat. Okay, so 1 for that Adam Montgomery is the one responsible for Harmony Montgomery's death, or 2 if you think it's Kayla. Don't worry, I won't attack you. If you say,
and you're right, and that was not the I didn't mean parole. Yeah, you're right. It's not parole. It's just an 18-month sentence, and her first chance to get out is in May.
Yes, that was it. Thank you. It was for lying to the grand jury. Right, exactly. I mean, she's basically a Pinocchio, but given immunity, right? Like I said, I mean,
no, not at all.
You lie under immunity, so it's like, here, immunity. Just tell it. The grossest part of this is when that sticks out in my head is still when Adam was deciding on whether to use a saw or a NutriBlend. That literally made me so nauseous. The case is nauseating beyond belief. And like I said, so if I let my head go to the mother mode and thinking of what happened to Harmony, I just want to shed tears galore, but I have to box that in a sense, because the minute I start thinking about that, it's just too horrendous. It's just too horrendous to even think about, about this poor child. Like, this is a disgusting case. Hello, New Brunswick.
Mm-hmm.
Another Canadian, obviously. Canadian.
Well, yeah, like Canada said, she's not allowed to have contact with her children. But we all know how the world works. If her mother has those kids,
right,
chances are when she gets out of jail, she's going to have access to those kids. Excuse me.
Well, that's just it, right?
Yeah, an IV, yes, a NutriBlend. You did not hear incorrectly.
Yeah, NutriBlend. Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I mean, they showed the receipt of him buying like the salt, the lime, and something else. It was. I don't know if you've seen another personal clip when you were like besides the trial, but those were the clips that were kind of out there by Court TV. Yeah. I haven't followed this case close enough to have an educated opinion. Well, I'll just put one for you, Ivy, because you would agree. But it's just the bottom line is that common sense says that is Kayla really gonna, hurt the child, or would it be the monster Adam Montgomery that's gonna, take the life? I believe like she's under immunity. She has no reason to lie under given immunity. She lied at first, of course, self-preservation there, just like drug addicts, right? Exactly. But, when these people get immunity, like I said, and they're caught lying, oh, you're going to spend a hell of a long time in that prison system. So this was their, like I said, to tell the story, to understand what exactly. Adam Montgomery is an absolute narcissistic monster. Go ahead.
And for anyone that hasn't been following the case closely, I don't know if we mentioned it or not in this stream, but Adam Montgomery is not showing up to court.
Nope.
So he's not man enough to actually sit there and watch his own court case.
Yeah.
Even though in his gun case, he was so excited and anxious to get to get to this trial so that he could prove his innocence.
He could prove his innocence.
And other than I think the first day, he's not showed up.
Yeah. So basically, he's like I said, there was
he doesn't want to get strip searched. Apparently,
like, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, there's 2 charges that he's pleading guilty to.
Yeah.
But he's not taking responsibility for Harmony Montgomery. Dude, you're a piece of shit. Give this poor child the proper, you know what I mean? You're already a piece of shit. You're already going to spend your life freaking behind bars, like the jury's going to come back as guilty.
Oh yeah. I like, what do you think? 20 minutes, 30 minutes?
Yeah. I don't think it's going to take long at all.
Diana, yeah, apparently in the New Hampshire Supreme Court says that they don't have to. So he has not been in court.
I know that pissed me off when the judge is like, now you can't hold it against him, like he's not here.
Of course, they say that, but any jury is going to hold it against him.
Absolutely.
Well, it's a lot easier to it's a lot easier to condemn someone when you're not sitting in the same room with them too. Mm-hmm. So Adam Montgomery is doing himself a huge disservice.
Yeah.
By claiming that Kayla's did this and then not sitting in that courtroom.
And then, well, yeah, exactly.
Because if he sat in that courtroom, he may be able to sway a juror or two just by his presence.
Well, you know what? Pretty much he stares down anyone, the jury and the stuff has been said that he basically sits there with a like straight stare, like this.
At least he could do like Michelle Troconis and just start mouthing some things to the jury.
Right.
Isn't that her name, Troconis?
Troconis or something like that, yeah.
I really thought they were going to hold them in contempt.
Yeah. I really do hope they make a law called Harmony's Law. What a beautiful sound to that for this beautiful child.
He might. I wonder if he'll testify.
Adam? Well,
the defense, I think, right now is expected to call 2 witnesses, and I don't know who they are.
Right.
But
it won't. Right. It won't shock me if Mr. Narcissist makes one entrance or something on the trial.
Here I am.
Yeah. Exactly. Ugh. And you know, when they brought in that ceiling tile with the fluids, like
I
I
sent
said,
you a picture of it.
oh yeah, actually, let's take a quick look at those for a second.
So what we were talking about earlier, I'm not sure which Sunny's going to pull up first, but
I'm going to pull up the cooler. Well, because it has the bet thing in there as well.
Yeah. So these were a couple of the exhibits that they showed in court, and so what you're seeing here is that, you know, these are things that Harmony was kept in. That bag is literally, it's a tote bag. All of us have that exact type of tote bag in our trunks, in our houses, whatever. She was kept in that cooler, and then she was kept in the ceiling above that vent.
Yeah. Hi, Misty. Yeah, you know, one of the things that still stands out to me is when Kayla says that she was folded and put in that bag, and then when they're talking about it bringing her down from the ceiling and that she's in the bathtub, and then she's asked about basically the state of Harmony Montgomery's body, she's like, well, she was folded. She was like the same as like when she went into the bag, you know, and all you could picture was this bag,
and the ceiling was dripping,
folded child, you know. And what gets me about all of this too is this stink. Like, that's the reason like they went in there, because there was this horrendous stink that was coming, and they were, you know, trying to find, you know, where this stink. And then, you know, obviously probably the maintenance comes and they're like, oh yeah, come back and see us after we pull her down, yank her from the ceiling, and
right. And Ivy, she was moved. We don't know why she was moved so much, but you know, one of the reasons is they didn't have a stable living environment. So she kind of went with them everywhere they went.
Yeah. Like, she went from the car, she went from being put beside the car in the snow, she went to being put in this red cooler, she went to be putting in a fridge, she went to be putting in at the job, the donut place or whatever, put on the bottom shelf there. Like, this child was literally, like, seriously taken. It's like I said, just taken around from place to place, you know, trying to keep her frozen. But like I said, up in the ceiling, she's obviously thawing, you know.
Well, that's what they said. They said she was decomposed, that there was fluid dripping from the ceiling.
I got a cough.
I mean, and Diana, the other kids were 1 and 10 months old at the time this happened. So, they, you know, were probably not aware. I think I have the ages correct. No, wait, they couldn't be 1 and 10 months old.
Oh, those other kids definitely were aware. They were right there in the car.
But the one was they were babies.
Pardon?
They were babies.
She was 5. How old are the other two? They were older than that.
The youngest was I think 10 months old.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Tell me the ages, because I'm getting confused between the ages.
I think the one son was 1.5, and the other one was 10 months old. I mean, they were like not far apart at all. Almost like what you would call Irish twins.
I thought Declan and Jameson were older than Harmony. Kim French, come on now. Give me the ages. If you could, please.
No, because Jameson was not Kayla's.
Oh my God, I'm getting all confused now.
Yeah.
She had Declan. Okay. I want names.
2.5.
2.5. Okay.
And then 10 months old, right?
Yeah.
11 months. Okay, 2.5 and 11
well, obviously, Canadian S has been following this case.
Yeah. So yeah, they were most likely unaware.
Okay. Oh, okay. So wait, Declan, is that?
Remember, Jameson is older. Jameson was was Crystal's son.
Those are Crystal's.
But
Declan is Kayla's?
yes, and I can't. What was the other name?
That's where I'm lost now.
They're both Scottish.
I really think Harmony's spirit stopped their car from working after she passed. Actually, the story didn't the car. Was it after she passed?
No, remember it was like simultaneously.
I was gonna say wasn't.
They like broke down.
Like that's they were at that Badero's. Yeah, wasn't it broken down?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kim's saying no.
No,
I thought it was that they were at the Anthony Badero's place and their car had broken down.
It broke down going into Burger King, right? My brain's getting jumbled now. I'm tired.
I know, same. Mine is too. It's like you sit there and you watch hours of it, and then all of a sudden trying to compact it back.
Yeah, and exactly. Jameson was the boy adopted by the guys in
Yeah,
DC.
yeah. Okay, right. That which was Crystal Stories. Yeah, Kayla got pregnant. Yeah, after Harmony was murdered and had a girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, like I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, they're just both disgusting pigs.
Right. And then he even went on to come back with the new girlfriend, who now is dead because she died of an OD.
Right.
And she I mean, so sad.
You know, and
because Kayla and Adam broke up.
Yeah.
And then like I said, he went and got another girl.
Yeah, and then he came back with her.
Right, and then she died of an OD.
Yeah. Yeah. Wasn't that was that in 2020?
21, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, fibro, exactly. It broke down right after the Burger King.
It broke down right after Burger King. I think that the thug is keeping back where her remains are as a trading card down the road for maybe a better prison situation or whatever, and possibly, like I said, they're both pieces of shit. And to me, they're like, I think this is kind of what Travis in somewhat was talking about when that Jennifer Crumbly was charged, with the murder of whatever. And then he was saying, well, like, how far do we take this? Like, do we start charging the therapists and blah, blah, blah? Because in this case, it's kind of like you almost want to, like, the judge should be reprimanded for contributing to this, to me, social worker, that's kind of what it reminded me about. So, like, obviously Adam Montgomery is the one, but had the system not failed Harmony, again, Harmony would still be alive today, but that's not how it went for poor Harmony. It's so tragic when you think of, she has this mom, that's on drugs and stuff like that. And, her dad, Adam's in jail at the time, and then she gets taken away from, Crystal. And then, like I said, then she gets placed or whatever, and then she gets put into the system. And then, then Adam comes, for money purposes, to be like this dad that's like, oh, I want custody of her. And, it's for self-serving purposes type of thing. And it just seems like this poor child, like talking about probably a child that would have a lot of issues, but she's not alive to have any of those because she's dead. And to me, she was, her life was taken by the father. And, but to me, they're both like, to me, really, it's like, they're both just as guilty, but.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know if I don't think they're both just as guilty, but she's not innocent by any means.
Well, she was there when it happened. She did nothing about it. It's kind of like being an accessory. Like I said, somebody goes in with the gun, and the other person's in the car, you know, and they deem it as the same, that you whatever. That's how I kind of see Kayla here, is that she was there, she witnessed it, she did nothing about it, type of the idea, but different. I mean, different in the sense of, obviously, if you're going into the bank to rob it, and then you have someone waiting in the car, those two purposely. Now, whereas Kayla, to me, this is like, basically, he turned around, probably popped her in the head a few times. Obviously, one of those hits or whatever took her life. And Kayla wasn't aware that that was going to happen. And I don't even think Adam meant for that to happen. But that's what happens when
That's what happens when you punch a little girl when you're a fully grown man.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, that's just it. Like, seriously, please get an ass whooping so bad that you're hanging for your own dear life, you know. But don't forget, I want you still to live, you know.
I bet he's in protective custody.
You know.
Got to keep him safe.
He's a piece of scum. He's just a piece of shit.
People fight for their rights.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like when Shabusiness, you know, was in court. Like, it's like the same. I get the same feeling for Shabusiness as I do for Adam Montgomery. You know, keep smirking, you piece of shit, while you sit there in prison, you know, and they come off so cocky and so, you know, type of thing. And really, it's like, whose life sucks now? Is it yours, or is it the people that are, you know, in a sense, out in the free world, fuckers, you know? But it did,
but Adam seems to me like the type that's a manipulator. He seems like the type that, you know, he'll be able to actually navigate himself to have an okay life in prison, probably.
Oh, probably. Oh, I'm sure
He'll
will.
probably end up, you know, ruling the roost in a way.
Yeah.
He just seems like that personality type.
You know, for me, it's always kind of about, you're being controlled, you're behind bars. So, right, I get exactly what you mean, Adam, when you say that. Aspen, I should say, not Adam. When you say that, right? Because some people, like, prison is their home, and I'm sure that it's a great fit for Adam Montgomery, to be honest. But I like the fact that they live in a little cell, you know, type of thing. Yeah. They're controlled. They can't decide what they're going to have for dinner. You know, they got a stinky little pooper in there where they have to take a poop with their freaking roommates in there. Or is he in cell? Is he by himself?
He's by himself right now.
By himself right now.
But you know, I don't know how that works. Every state's probably different, but he, you know, because he's already pleaded guilty to the other charges, so he's already serving. So he is a convicted. So you know, it's not like he's innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
He's guilty. You know. Yeah. Of crimes he's already admitted to.
Right.
But I'm not sure then if his status will change once the conviction for these crimes comes down. I think someone said I think he's like a level 5 prisoner, and I don't know New Hampshire well enough to know
piece of shit.
Exactly what that means. I do think he's in protective custody though right now.
Shiv that smoke sooner or later. I you know, I see. Oh, I was just gonna say this. I'm not buying the fact that Kayla was scared so shitless of Adam that she couldn't go to the police and say what had happened and stuff like that. Self-serving. So granted, she was probably scared of him because obviously he popped her in the face there, and he probably did whatever. But to me, that the whole not going to the police about it and stuff like that, I don't think it was because she was scared shitless of Adam. It's because she was scared shitless of what she would have to face. And
she might have been scared of both, but at the end of the day, her desire to be self-serving outweighed anything else.
Yeah.
She may have been terrified of Adam, but Adam was also her way to get drugs and things like that. So I think Kayla's absolutely a victim in this situation, but I think she's absolutely also a piece of shit.
Yeah. Big piece of shit.
Yeah. She could have helped that little girl and she didn't.
She lied to the grand jury. So basically, she just completely lied to the grand jury. She said she was working that day when she wasn't. She just basically completely lied to the grand jury. That's what she's in jail for. That's what she got 18 months for, I guess it was. Yeah. But she has immunity to this case here for her testimony. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, and it bothers me when people say that because she may have been a victim, that she, does not hold responsibility here, and she does.
Right. Yeah. You can be everything at once. Drugs rules. Yeah. Absolutely.
You still have a moral responsibility. Exactly. Just because you're a victim doesn't mean you can say, "Oh, I couldn't do anything. I'm a victim."
Yeah. Can you explain it to Ivy better, I guess? I mean, she...
No, Ivy called. Ivy's right 100%.
What? No.
She said you can be...
No, I'm talking about the part where... Yeah, her basically everything that she told the grand jury was false. Very little truth in there at all. Oh, what a web we weave when we first practice.
Sonny, have you ever heard of this name?
I think I have once, twice. Kind of sounds familiar. I think is that Hot Pants? Hot Pants?
I think I saw his name on a bus, a bench at the bus station.
I got it over my head.
It said for a good time call.
Well, that reminds me on this one, Adam. Okay, so just quickly going back to where is it? Going back to this for a sec, Adam. This guy to me totally looks like you, okay? And all I see is this. I'm sorry, okay? But when I see this person, all I picture is you with a brown mustache on. And the way he's holding his legs out, I just feel like it's desperation calling. So, especially after you said about 3 years, I was just like, I'm just looking at the way he's holding his legs, and it's like, come get some. But I picture that to be you. Yeah. Whenever I see that. Let me just...
Hey, Travis, it's good to see you.
Who's Travis? Yeah. I don't know. He didn't come on with his hot pants on yesterday. Let me just quickly see here. Okay. And let me just go to this. Okay. And this, of course, you guys, was the board that they had cut out and brought in as evidence. And, you guys know. Yeah. Anyways, bottom line is justice for Harmony Montgomery. Such a sad, disgusting case. Beyond belief. Unthinkable what this poor child went through and how she was just toted around, literally. Maybe that puss ass will one day say, he did it, and try to, like I said, work a deal or something like that. Okay, well,
it'll have to benefit him somehow for him to do it. But,
yeah, absolutely.
How do you guys? What do you guys think about Kayla getting immunity? I don't like it, but I understand it. They don't have a body. They don't have a body in this case, and in order to have a case against Adam, they need a star witness.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't like it at all because Kayla, I think it's a piece of shit. But
yeah.
But it is what it is.
Like I said, the same thing's going to happen in the Karina McClurkin case against Farmer guy there. What's his name again? Flint Farmer, right? Okay. Same thing. Pretty much most people are going to have immunity for their testimony. And that's pretty much what has happened here is, Kayla's the star witness. So yeah, it's one of those things that you don't like it. You don't want it to be like that. But if it means the justice to the ends type of thing, or the ends to justice, so that Adam, who's going?
Sorry.
Who's that?
Gail.
Oh, good night, Gail.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
We have some sweet dreams there. Don't dream of me too much, though. Okay, thank you. Is Aspen from Canada? No. He could only wish, Kim. Wish. Hold on, my camera's blurry.
USA.
Canada. Well, USA for your cases, though. Okay, USA for your cases. You guys got some good cases.
Not our legal system.
Not so much the legal system.
Best in the world.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see what happens with Abby and Libby's case, and then might change my tune. No, I mean, I'm so glad that your system is like, I like the way that it's way more transparent than Canada or England, places like that, where, hey, you guys got your amendments and all this stuff, of course, and
right. Yeah, I didn't say it was good. I just said it was the best in the world.
Typical American. Best in the world. But, well, in saying that, I can't knock it because, the information that you can gather off of people or the documents and stuff like that is quite, it's always nice to have all these documents, the affidavits and all these things that you can read and, in them and stuff like that. So, yeah, Harmony's sweet little face in her pictures.
You're right,
let's look at sweet. Well, I'll pull up this right here so we can see which one should I have. Let's do this one. No, yeah, let's do this one so we can have. Wait, did Charmaine ever send me a happy clip, by the way?
Nope.
Really?
Well, she probably did, but it was probably like kittens being run over, knowing Charmaine.
Adam, go find me one quickly.
Charmaine would be like, here, this is funny. It's a puppy getting beaten.
Let's look at this little picture. Seriously, go find me a funny clip. I mean it. We have $10.
Did you? And I saw a few clips of it, and it was entertaining. I need to watch some more of it, but the little bit I did see was entertaining.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, what was that all about? Was that with Trump or something?
It has to do with the whole Fulton County thing. The DA has been brought up on some allegations that, well, I mean, she's admitted having a relationship with the prosecutor in the case, and so they were both giving testimony as far as whether there were anything improper happened. That's the best non-political way I can answer it.
Well, it doesn't have something to do with Trump.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what the bigger case has to do with Trump.
Okay.
The DA who's prosecuting that case against Trump and the prosecutor are, alleged to, admittedly have been in a romantic relationship.
So. Fannie Willis, huh? Fannie Williams, was that what it was?
I got a kick out of her. I got a kick out of her demeanor for some of it, though. I will admit.
Well, you see, I mean, I kept seeing notifications come up on my thing, and I'm like, Fannie Willis. And I tried to watch it for a few minutes, whatever it was. And I was like, yeah, I can't watch this. I have no idea what it was. And where is Karla Homolka? Is that a missing person?
I don't know who that is.
Is that a missing person? I mean, there's so many of them. Can't keep up, really. There's a lot. Karla Homolka.
Yeah, but I have no desire to be to get political. So,
wait, getting to know Karla Homolka, Fifth Estate. Paul Bernardo, was found guilty on 2 counts. Okay.
Oh, the Barbie and Ken. Ken.
Yeah.
She's married to, who is it? Is someone of her defense attorneys
Right. Yeah. Right.
It's someone related to her defense, and I think she has children with them.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
like the lawyer's, was it the lawyer's brother or something like
Brother,
that?
something like that.
I
Yeah.
think it was that because I remember Charmaine would know for sure. Are
Yeah.
you
It took
finding
me a
me
minute, but
something
yes,
funny?
as soon as she read the last name, I was like, oh yeah, I
No,
know that. It's the
no.
Barbie and Ken killers.
So I don't know much about Barbie and Ken. I don't know much about Canadian true crimes. I know some of them, but Charmaine is the one that's covered a lot of those stuff on her,
I watched a really good documentary
podcast.
on that case once. I might have been on HBO Max. I can't remember.
Yeah. I've I uh, I will state this again. From age 26, from age 26 to literally 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago now, I was not into newspaper articles because when I was 26, if not sooner than that, I got tired of reading the newspaper, listening to the news because it involved deaths, people throwing their children over bridges and stuff like that. And I couldn't take it anymore because it hurt my heart too much to keep hearing these sad stories. And it was very draining. And so I stopped. I literally stopped watching the news, stopped reading newspaper articles. I stopped with any of that. So for me, anything beyond when I was little and heard of Clifford Olson and some of those cases out here that are Canadian, I literally had no clue about because I would have to have watched that in true crime, and I didn't want to be in true crime. I never expected to be in true crime because it's just too hard on the heart to bear. So that's why in dealing with true crime, I had to teach my head to go, this is really sad, like Harmony Montgomery's case. But yet, to bring awareness to talk about the case because other people follow it and stuff like that, like Delphi and Suzanne Morphew and some of these other cases. That's why I want to, like I said, expand with the channel and it wasn't just about Delphi, but I just was not into that. It was only because of the Delphi case and me clicking on this on the YouTube that one day that it was like, oh, that's where I sit to this day, you know? So I could tell you sweet FA about most of the Canadian serial killers out there, or the cases. Besides when Charmaine and I talk about which Canadian true crime case we're going to cover, then I go, of course, and watch video and look for, articles on those like Terry Driver out of Abbotsford, and stuff like that. Or like we did the Bruce MacArthur case. So this is why. So Barbie and Ken, I think I might have heard of that before, but do I know actually the names of who Barbie and Ken are, or this Carla Hamalto or whatever?
Well, that's Carla is Barbie.
Okay, so Carla is Barbie. See, that's what I'm saying, right? So, so that's true story, and I'm sticking to it. I do not like true crime. It hurts the heart to know that these children, these women, these men, whatever, are, and find me a funny video, are getting, please, are getting harmed, right? It just hurts the heart so bad. Like I said, so it's like you have to block it. It's like my own son, right? My own traitor son. I have to block that hurt and the pain because it's so deep that it hurts too much to surface it. So I have to keep it down so I can just go along and function about my life and whatever, knowing that that pain is there. So it's kind of like these cases, I have to push that to the side. That's the way I work. That's the way I have to do it in order to justify me being in the true crime community, because it's about bringing awareness and helping people and bringing a voice to the voiceless. It's a very heavy topic, true crime. It's sad. It's disgusting. I don't like to be talking about these cases and stuff like that, like in general. It's just too hard on the heart that people literally do these things to their own freaking children, to their wives, to their husbands, the things that people do. That is a super famous one from Canada, right? Again, I would have to have followed true crime, and I simply didn't. And that's why we're starting to do True Crime Canada, typically on Saturdays, because I don't know much. Obviously I'm Canadian. So I feel like it's the right thing to do to cover Canadian cases. And Charmaine knows a lot about them. Yeah. News is very negative. It's very draining. When you're a deep empathic person and you know it, and like I said, nobody can take away who I am as a person. When I know that those emotions are put on me and I feel the pain and the sorrow for these families, that's a lot to bear on myself all the time. I typically live in a bubbly, happy world. So it's kind of like being around people. If you're negative and you're draining my energy, I don't want to be around you because you're just sap sucking everything that, that I'm trying to not be in a sense. And trust me, my family, sap suckers. I haven't gotten deep into any case except for Delphi in a while. Yeah. There's so many cases. Anyways, it's absolutely devastating. Again, look at that lawyer that Travis knew. And the son takes out his mom and the judge. Sorry, he was a judge. And right, Summer Wells, right? The poor child. And hopefully the truth will come out. Maybe you should start a series where you cover major cases from the past that you weren't familiar with. Well, that's exactly what we're doing with the Canadian side of things. As for, I'm just kind of on the map. I sometimes don't know where I'm at, where I'm going to with different things. When I choose to cover a case, either Adam sends me something perhaps and it resonates. It's not to take away from the other cases, but there's a lot of people in true crime that cover a lot of cases. And so there's ones that usually resonate with you. The children ones, especially, so devastating. But I never followed the Gannon Stouch one, but I knew of it. I hated looking at that poor little child's face, with that nice smile. I hated looking at that, knowing that someone took his life. Burt Carnes, yeah. Williamson County Judge, yeah. Never did see any real updates on that one. To be honest with you. Anyways, just very sad. Adam, are you finding me a clip? We're gonna get going here in a minute, guys. But
I can't find a funny clip.
Come on, there's gotta be a funny clip.
I literally was like looking and scrolling, and I was like, and my phone's at 9%, and I'm like, I can't find one.
Okay, fine. You talk to people. I'm gonna go find one.
I mean, I found several, but none of them were funny. Maybe you should start a series where you cover major cases from the past that you aren't familiar with. Well, Ivy, I mean, that would be all of them for Sunny.
No.
Oh, she muted herself.
Yeah, now I am. Because I'm still trying to find a funny clip, so we're back. I think I'm going to need to go to TikTok for this.
When are they getting white pants in the store and legal pads? Travis, I don't think until Memorial Day, right? Ivy says you should cover the Oklahoma girl. Wait, Ivy, is that the Girl Scout camp one with the 3 girls and they found the one outside of the tent? You can answer. Because that crime is horrific. Yeah, I know that case. That's a horrible case. Steve Steer says, "Aspen Connor, where's my Maddie McCann live?" Oh, I know, right? I was gonna do that like a year and a half ago. So The anniversary of that's coming up in May. So I'm really bad at following through on things I say I'm going to do. Oh, Ann Broom says, oh, I saw this. Ann says, did you see that Taylor S., we'll call her, donated $100K to the GoFundMe for the family of the victims of the Kansas City tragedy? I did. I didn't see it was to the GoFundMe. I saw that she donated $100,000 to the family. So I thought that was nice. I know a lot of people don't like her, but donating $100,000, regardless of your reasoning, is nice. Everyone else talking about D in the box. They were all three. Oh, come here. Were they all three found outside the tent? Okay, thank you. I couldn't remember. It's been a while. I remember how horrific it was, and I remember one of them was found further away. Yeah. Ivy says there was some weird side stuff to it too, alleged supernatural stuff that helped the Cherokee man, POI, when he was on the run, shape shifting, 2 search dogs just dropped dead, weird stuff. Absolutely. But it is Oklahoma. Okay, it was $250K to the GoFundMe. Okay, thank you, Ann. Sonny, did you find that video yet? I'm running out of things to say.
Okay, this one might be a little disgusting, but whatever.
Uh-oh.
I was watching a few. I don't know. Okay, this one might be a little disgusting. I don't care. Gonna show it anyway. Might not be your guys' sense of humor, but I don't care. Gonna show it anyway. I like it when people do these practical joke things. Sorry.
Are you serious though?
What happened?
What you mean what happened?
What happened?
You fucking far, man.
I don't fart. Huh?
Yeah.
Huh? What happened?
I feel like your whole TikTok is probably like that, Sonny.
Okay, that was it.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, hold on. I gotta go. I'm crying so much.
Well,
Okay.
with that, should we call it a night? 2 hours and 34 minutes.
Okay. Well, you got to take your, TikTok. I know, but it's like, I don't know. I like it when people kind of play practical jokes on people.
Right.
That one's disgusting, but whatever. LOL. Okay. I gotta stop crying now. Okay. So good. I know it might not be funny to some people. I don't care. Anyway, it was the best I could do. Okay. The few that I was watching before that weren't so funny.
Same. None of the ones I saw were funny. So I was like, oh, I can't do this right now.
Yeah.
And then my phone's about to die. So I was like,
okay. Anyways, you guys, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. And thank you to Charmaine for the $13.99 super chat. Was that it? Am I forgetting? Okay. Am I forgetting somebody?
Yeah.
I feel like I am. Diana S. Hold on. Diana S. Is that it? I think so.
Did Gail?
No.
All right.
Not today. Not today, Gail. She's done.
And then I know Rick Astley did earlier.
Rick Astley did earlier. Yeah.
Oh, I know. Ivy, it's the weekend. I know, right?
Yeah. Super. So let me just check. Yeah, Diana and Charmaine for tonight, and Rick Astley was earlier today in the live. Oh, but you guys are gonna go up and buy all those mugs that I showed you guys, okay?
I was off my game a little bit tonight. Sorry.
It's okay. Oh, Frank was still here. Hey, Frank, you survived. Yeah. Sweet. Where did he tell R&M? Was it?
That's one of their names.
Where did he tell them off? Was it on like some sort of live stream?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see.
Frank. Was it like one of those things that like peekaboo that we get to see? Thank you. Yeah. Happy good weekend, everyone. Or have a good weekend. Happy good weekend, I said. Yeah, later all. I know. That's the part that gets me. Is their faces when they think that it's real. I could try to understand that I can get snapped at. But after no remorse, that's too hard to forgive. Absolutely. Oh, wait. There are 24. Yes. 2 are Halmaka, her husband. So that's one episode, and then 23 more to cover. There's no crime in Canada. Hey, we had, how many did we have again? Can't remember. Was it like 200 and something SKs versus you guys over there in the United States that are like 4,000 something? I guess we'd have to figure out that per capita on there. But definitely Canada definitely has its fair share of SKs out here. I just remember some of them from when I was a kid, hearing about like Clifford Olson, and there's another one that the name's escaping me. Anyways, you guys have a great night. Maybe we'll see you on the weekend. Other than that, we'll continue to cover the Harmony Montgomery case.
And remember, Monday is a holiday, so there presumably won't be
no documents.
No documents on Monday.
No documents. Yeah. Tom's tomorrow. Is Tom doing a live tomorrow? Yeah.
Oh, Diana, give him crap about Missy Beaver's husband.
Oh, I like how you played right into my TikTok video. That's right. Give him crap. Yeah. See? Played it for a reason. Anyways. Oh, wait. Thanks to Betty Majors. That was it. Betty, thank you very much for the coffee. Their taco. The taco. Taco.
Why? What happened? Oh, well, Sonny, before we go, can you play the Tom Webster clip for Diana?
Okay. I mean, she did give us $5 tonight. Well, me. Let me find it. The thing is, there's something strange because my thing's circling here. So let me see if I can go back to Adam's thing here. Because I don't know what it is, Adam, but my computer's being very stupid. But I think, let me see here. Deposition. Tom, where are you? Where did you put it in? Oh, I think you put it into the other one. You put it into this one, I believe.
I sent it to you and Charmaine.
Yeah. This one right here. Okay, hold on. Let me bring it up.
Right, and for anyone that doesn't know, Tom Webster, he does deep dives. We all love Tom. The video you're about to see is the only other true crime case that Tom really has covered is the Missy Beavers case. And Missy Beavers' husband was on a program recently, and he talked about Tom. So Sonny's going to play the little clip from it.
Yeah, I haven't really seen our Sleuther.
Sleuther Vandross.
Yeah, Sleuther Coach Vandross.
Well, he's like a full-time YouTuber now, so he's busy doing like deep dives and spreadsheets.
True that. He needs to more like be that and plus a YOLO person to go with it. So let me play that for you guys.
Yeah.
It's kind of low, but I'll crank it.
Sleuth or Vandross. There are only maybe 2 or 3 people out there that I have communicated with because I find them extremely knowledgeable and highly intelligent in how they've arrived at their conclusions. And Tom Webster is a guy that if you don't know a whole lot about this, you need to watch. He's got I think it's a 3.5 or a 4-hour video. And he is so intelligent. It's kind of baffling, but he's very comedic and funny. Hence the name Sleuth or Vandross.
Right.
Mr. Tom Webster.
That was it. The piece that was sent on there.
Yeah, and it was low, but it was nice.
Yeah. So kudos to Tom, and and again, this is Missy Beaver's husband.
Yeah.
That's speaking. Highly intelligent. There you go. Yeah. I feel like I'm a little level higher than that, but I try not to expose myself, to be honest, like that. Anyways, you guys, thank you guys again so much. You guys take care. Have a great weekend.
Right.
Who knows if I do any YOLOs or not, stuff like that. We'll see. Shout out to Tom Webster. Absolutely.
We'll see who gets a subpoena over the weekend.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Take care, guys. Have a good one. Thank you again.
A Norfolk night, the world is cold. We stand surrounded, we are not alone. Within my reverie, there's holy light. Without an honor, we stand and fight.